913-586-7965. Video stream will be up and running. You subscribe on YouTube. That way it makes it easy for you, right? You get notified if you have your notifications on. You don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. All right, coming up in a half hour, Danan Hughes. He's going to join us a little bit earlier in the show than normal. He'll join us at 10:30. He, of course, is a former Chiefs wide receiver. He will be on the call in Denver Sunday afternoon. He also has players only tonight here on the station. Want to get a player's perspective on a division rivalry like this so-called must-win game that we've all been saying. Do players approach it that way? And as you guys know, Andy Reid was asked about Xavier Worthy and some of those tendencies that he had, at least according to the Buffalo Bills. And so Danan played the position. I'm sure he had tendencies as a player as well. I want to get his thoughts on how quickly you can change those, right? And how common is that? It's not the first time an athlete has had a tendency. That's the whole point of looking at film, among other reasons, right? So Danan will join us. We'll also, a little bit later on in the show today, talk a little fantasy football with Paul Charchian, and then Josh Klingler, who will also be on the broadcast, as you guys know, on the sideline in Denver on Sunday. He'll join us at 1 o'clock. So we've got a lot coming your way here on a Thursday as we inch closer and closer to kickoff in Denver. Before we get into the running backs and Isaiah Pacheco's health, he did not practice yesterday. I wanted to talk about the feeling for both cities going into this game a little bit. We'll play you what Nick Bonito had to say about how he views the Chiefs, their current standing, what they've accomplished basically, and maybe the respect factor there. But I think when you look at each city, and we'll have a guest on from Denver tomorrow, the idea of this team needs it more, this team needs it more than that team, I think you can make a case for both, but for me, you have on one hand a team that in the standings needs it more, right? Like, so pressure, need more, however you want to phrase it. Well, yeah, that's Kansas City, because we all know if they lose this game, their odds to win the division, I think they're 0, but I think officially the math says it goes down to about 5% chance the Chiefs can win the division with a loss. I think it's over,
with that schedule, Denver, it'd be hard-pressed to think they're going to lose at least more than 2.
So if you're saying need versus pressure, well, look, the Chiefs need it to make sure that they can stay in the divisional conversation, to make sure that the postseason is a real option for them, that it doesn't start to get tricky. But on the other hand, you have a Broncos team, the same reason why I've been skeptical about them. Like, all right, what happens when this happens? What kind of game is Bo Nix going to play? Are they going to, for once and for all, kind of kick down the guys that have been running this division for almost a decade? That's what this game is kind of about on Sunday, I think, if you're the Denver Broncos. The Broncos lose this game, they can still win the division, they're still going to make the playoffs, all that. But there is something to the psyche of you get the Chiefs and you basically bury them in the divisional conversation, and you prove to people, hey, we're a 9-win team. We're not just talking about winning the division. We're talking about being the number 1 overall seed in the AFC maybe if we win. I think there's some pressure with that.
There's a chance to do things that so many teams don't do. And I always liken it to fights, Alex. You know, it's like UFC. You watch some UFC sometimes. Some guys getting just totally beat up. And then the fighter doesn't put him out, doesn't knock him out. And guess what happens? Sucker punch or whatever, and the other guy's done. Like, you're getting beat up all this time. Like, all these teams have a chance to knock the Chiefs out. And I know people are celebrating when the Chiefs were getting knocked down early in the season.
Sure.
But this is a true you can knock the Chiefs out moment. Like, you always look for these moments, and you got to kick them when they're down, those kind of things. Like, you had to take advantage when Rasheed Rice isn't playing, Xavier Worthy was hurt those 3 games. Like, that's when you got to take advantage of the Chiefs. And 3 teams did. 3 teams did, and 3 teams did. But this is one of those chances right in front of you, even though they still have a division game in Kansas City, but this is in Denver. This is much different for them. This is a true knock the Chiefs. If you want to, and you're tired of the Chiefs winning 9 straight division titles, this is your chance. And you know Sean Payton is drilling that in their heads because it seems like they're getting that message.
Well, because if you lose, if you're Denver on Sunday, and then we fast forward to week 17, week 18, and the Chiefs are a win away from winning the division, or if they have one thing go their way, they win the division, this will be the week everybody looks back on and says, you had your chance. Heck, if I'm a Chargers fan, is while you're also chasing the Broncos, it's kind of weird. They're in a weird spot. Like, if you're the Broncos, or if you're the Chargers, I'm sorry, you want the Broncos to come back to the pack for you. But at the same time, you also, I think, in a weird way, if you're a Chargers, you want to just alleviate the Chiefs too and say, all right, let's just worry about the Broncos the rest of the way, knowing what we just said there. So, yeah, it is a massive swing game for the Chiefs, for the Broncos, and how everybody perceives this division the rest of the way. This is what Nick Bonito had to say about the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, and I said it the other day on Thursday night. I mean, this division has been run by the Chiefs for so many years now. So, I mean, if we're going to want to be that team to win the division and reach the goals that we said we want, we're going to have to go through them and beat them. So, we're excited for the opportunity.
Talk about the mental edge you have if you win this game if you're Kansas City. Like, if you win, then once again, I know you get the Broncos, as you said, Bink, again at home later on. But if you beat Denver, and knowing what Nick Bonito just said there, that's just a massive mental edge I think you have over the Broncos. You'd say, all right, hey, I thought we had a chance to bury them. We didn't. They came into our house. They beat us. Oh, my gosh. Here we go again. The Chiefs are still here. Like, I think there's just a massive edge the rest of the season for the Chiefs over the Broncos if they win. And it changes how the Chiefs locker room approaches the rest of the year. Because let's be real, there's also the other scenario. If Kansas City loses on Sunday, to me, I think you are looking around a little bit in the locker room. You're 5-5. You're saying, are we really? I mean, are we really not going to make the playoffs? That to me, not everybody, not with the vets, but some other guys in that locker room, you're telling me that's not creeping in their mind if they lose on Sunday?
Yeah, and the Chiefs have held that mental edge so much on teams. And sometimes, when the Chiefs had 11 straight games, winning one-score games, you know what it came down to, Alex? It wasn't really the X's and O's. It came down to the mental advantage. It's like the Raiders fumbling it away at the end. That's the mental pressure of, we have a chance to knock out the Chiefs. And then they don't do it. They're not thinking, attention to detail, things get lost. But the Chiefs dance in people's heads a bit. It's that mental advantage that's not football-wise. You can't look at X's and O's. It's the mental advantage. And they get it. That stuff by Bonito wasn't smack talk for him, wasn't trash talk, because it obviously works the other way against the Chiefs, where they take this thing to heart. So he's not doing that. And that's some of Sean Payton's probably leadership with that team. Hey, just like Andy Reid, no bulletin board material, beat it. But here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is 13-1 against the Broncos. That's got to be embarrassing for him. Remember, the Chiefs won a 16-game streak in a row. 16 straight freaking games against the team is unheard of in the National Football League. Because you get accidents that happen all the time. Just like Buffalo losing to Miami and getting hammered. That's an anomaly. That's an asterisk. Those things don't typically happen. But 16 straight against the team is, be honest with you, that's ridiculous.
I think something that is probably more of a late in the game if the Chiefs are fortunate enough to have the lead or control. But I think it was Nate Taylor who mentioned this to us weeks ago, that he doesn't think Andy Reid and this coaching staff has forgotten about how the Broncos handled Week 18 last year. We all remember the Chiefs, of course, just completely went in with one of the most vanilla game plans you'll ever see in an NFL regular season game.
Wentz game.
Carson Wentz, they did nothing, and the Broncos ran the score up. Absolutely ran it up. And we say, hey, man, you can stop them. It's not so much that the Chiefs basically were doing you a favor to a certain extent, to lay down a bit. And I think there is some truth to what Nate Taylor was saying a few weeks ago about that, where like the Chiefs, they are out for blood, not just because of the divisional circumstance, but I don't think they forgot how Sean Payton handled Week 18 last week. Last year.
Of course, and when you think about the Broncos and what they're saying and Bonito there, we say, hey, we got to get through the Chiefs. Like, he understands, all right, it's not about the Chargers, who do have advantages in games over the Broncos and the Chiefs. Actually sitting in a good spot. The fact that they've beaten them twice, they went 3-0 against the division, week 1, 2, and 3. So that's a pretty good deal for the Chargers. But for the Chiefs, like you said there, and Nate Taylor, the running up the score last year when you had your backups in that game, and then everybody claiming the Chiefs, let the Broncos win so the Bengals didn't get in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff that you had. But for the Chiefs, it's that mindset. It's that championship mindset they have. They talk about that championship swag. They talk about the culture in Kansas City. Well, this is a chance to see it. If all that culture and that championship, mindset this team has, there's a team right in front of you. There's a team right in front of you with 3 games. They could go to 4 games. Just like what Mahomes said yesterday. Hey, if we lose this, they got 4 games on us. Division's probably over at that point. So the Chiefs feel their back in the corner, and a lot of times when somebody feels their back's in the corner, they come out fighting a little bit. So I'm expecting a different Chiefs. And you're coming off the bye week. We've had nothing but to think about this. I just look at all these little things that have happened to the Chiefs this year, and this is the biggest one. Another one, too, when the franchise is a great show, the Chiefs do, but that one, the ESPN, the Kingdom, I was like, so here the Chiefs go. They're trying to wash that Philadelphia game out of their mind, right? Out of mind, out of sight, that Super Bowl. And I knew it happened because as soon as they previews for the Kingdom that was coming out in August, had the green confetti coming down and all that for the Eagles, I knew they'd be reminded of it again, but I didn't mind it.
I had that Fleetwood Mac song stuck in my head for a while.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't think the Chiefs would mind it. I thought it honestly would piss them off, be another chip on the shoulder for them as far as going into the season. So this would be the top one. The fact that the Broncos game last year and the fact that all of a sudden the Broncos and, kind of feeling it, even though their fans aren't feeling it. I get there's a lot of Chiefs are going to win this game with their fan base, which is really weird for Broncos fans because usually they are extremely cocky. I mean, they're Buffalo Bills fans times 2 sometimes, to be honest with you. But they're not like that right now, and I think it's kind of that.
Well, because they're watching their offense.
The wait-and-see attitude.
They're one, because I think there is respect towards Kansas City, but also their offense and Bo Nix.
They booed their team.
Have not played all that great. I mean, and they're coming off a game against the Raiders where it was abysmal. That's a big part of it. We'll get a Broncos perspective tomorrow. Nick Ferguson, who played safety for the Broncos, who does radio in Denver, we've had on the show, I think, once a year over the last couple of years. He'll join us tomorrow in the 10 o'clock hour, so we'll get the Broncos side of things on this whole thing.
The thing to me, though, Alex, is make them boo. Like, have good defensive stops, get on the scoreboard early, get that crowd instead of the incomplete.
I
hate that too. It's the most annoying thing in all sports.
Very annoying.
But get them to where they're booing their team. Get them to where Boo Nix is getting booed. Get them to where that Broncos team is getting booed.
Is it Boo Nix?
But get the Broncos out of there, get that fan base, not the home field advantage, because it's clearly not when your home fans are booing you. So
I actually
flip that home field advantage.
Yeah, I do think Denver is one of the better home fields in the NFL. And in an age where we've got...
It is, but not when your fans are booing.
Sure, I understand. Let's not, they're not the first fan base that's ever booed their team for not scoring. They had 1 touchdown in 17 possessions. But I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. We'll get Danan Hughes' perspective on playing in altitude, playing in Mile High and all that, as he joins us in 20 minutes. We know yesterday, back at practice, Bink, we'll get another practice report later on today, but Isaiah Pacheco did not practice. Also, George Karlaftis was limited. We'll keep an eye on that the rest of the week. If Pacheco doesn't practice today, I think it's fairly safe to say that he's unlikely to play on Sunday. I would say it's not looking great for his chances to play, and therefore, who's going to get the call up? Is it Clyde? Is it Elijah Mitchell, as we discussed yesterday? I told you I wanted it to be more Brashard Smith, but I came across this from Dan Orlovsky, and I think it speaks to why there's been so much desire from fans and from us on this show to see them go under center and help the run game, which also therefore will help the passing game a little bit. And this is kind of telling. I don't think this is a coincidence. You tell me. This is the percentage that teams go under center this year. Okay, the top 5 teams and the bottom 5 teams. So let me just tell you the top 5 teams. And you might notice a trend. The team that goes under the center the most, Seattle, 70% of the time. The Rams, 69% of the time. The Lions, 52% of the time. So there's a huge gap, by the way, between Seattle. I'm not saying the Chiefs need to be on Seattle's level 70%. That's crazy. But it works for Sam Darnold.
And also, those quarterbacks are used to that kind of system.
No doubt. Lions, 52%. Bills, 51%. Patriots, 47%. Those are the top 5 teams. Bottom 5, Saints only do it 18% of the time. Bengals, 15% of the time. Chiefs, 11. Commanders, 7. Falcons, 6. You notice there's a difference between those 5 teams. The first 5 are all Super Bowl contenders. The bottom 5, there's one team that's a Super Bowl contender, and it's Kansas City. I'm not saying that 11% needs to be 70%. Absolutely not. It doesn't even probably need to be top 5. I don't need them to even be at 47% of the time where the Patriots are. Can they just be middle of the road instead of bottom 5 and going under center? I think we have seen in a couple games this year, Bink, when they go under center a bit more, not only is the run game more effective, but what does it do? It sets up the play action a bit. There was a stretch of games where they were willing to do that. We all know the one circumstance where it was highlighted more, unfortunately, was before halftime against Buffalo, 1st and goal at the 3, I think it was, or 2. And they went shotgun, I think, to the left of Mahomes was Kareem Hunt. They're trying to run on 1st and goal. He gets stuffed, and then we all know what happened. He ended up settling for a field goal. Go under center. It doesn't even have to. This is the QB sneak thing. This is all of it. But I thought that was interesting, just the grouping of teams. Yeah. Is that a coincidence to you? I don't think it is.
No, and you'd like to see it more. But there's 2 factors here for the Chiefs. One, that's how Mahomes has basically been operating a lot, is the shotgun, right? Like, number 1, your quarterback feels comfortable in that. And number 2, you have to trust your offensive line. I mean, you mentioned teams there that have really good offensive line. Detroit's offensive line is really good. Mm-hmm. The Broncos could be the best offensive line this year in football. So the quarterback has to trust his line because you get more time. And obviously the Bengals are going to be at the bottom list because they don't trust that offensive line at times. Right. So that comes into whether you're under center or shotgun to give you more time to operate as a quarterback, but also where your quarterback feels the best. Now, I look at some of those teams and think, all right, well, Stafford is a general, going back to college, being under center type of guy. Jared Goff, under center type of guy, not complete shotgun type of guy. So I do get that's the
but I don't need it to be. I don't need
up.
it to be 70, 60, 50.
You'd like to see it more, and they're more effective with that. I'm with you on that.
How about 35% of the time?
Trusting your offensive line, but your quarterback is good in those situations where you can get back there, survey the field a little bit more, have the angles. That's why the pistol offense became so popular, kind of halfway between the shotgun and the center, because the quarterback had the angles.
Yeah,
and
can I tell you,
it is cyclical.
The team on the list and that makes no sense. Like that has no. Not only do the Chiefs should they not be in the bottom 5 on this, the Falcons being the team that goes under center the least makes zero sense. Zach Robinson's their OC, all right? I know he's rumored to be maybe the next Oklahoma State head coach, although he hasn't impressed me as an OC with Atlanta. They have Michael Penix as their quarterback. You know, if only they had some good running backs there. It'd be smart to go under center. They go under center 6% of the time, and they have Robinson and Algier. That makes no sense.
And Algier's just that
Holy
thumper,
cow.
man.
That makes zero sense to me.
I think it's because
the Commanders, same thing with them. I know Jaden Daniels has been hurt, but
I think it's because Zach Robinson knows that Michael Penix ran shotgun a majority of the time in college. So I think that
you do have is the comfortability, which is true, and also because I remember when Sam Bradford came out of college. And, at that point, the Rams, is he going to be shotgun or under center? Because at Oklahoma, he was under center or in the shotgun, but in the NFL, they wanted to be under center. So you're actually taking somebody out of their comfort zone. And that was the big talk back then. With these college quarterbacks that are always in shotgun, will they be able to go under center in the National Football League? That was the big talk. That's why people didn't buy into 100% on Mahomes in the NFL when it came to it because of, being a shotgun type quarterback.
I'm not saying that even the Falcons don't need to be in the top 5, but I just can't believe 6% of the time, and like the Chiefs, only 11% of the time.
I think there's a little bit of devil's advocate. I think that I would play because the Chiefs have scored 28 or more points in 5 of the games.
Yep.
Like they're scoring points. It's not refraining them from doing that. The Bengals are scoring a lot of points. They've scored almost 40 the last 3 games that they've played.
They're in shootouts every game.
I think that from an offensive perspective, shotgun isn't necessarily hurting the Chiefs or technically the Bengals on offense the way that it might be other teams, because obviously with the Chiefs in particular, we've seen that success strained over the course of time. I feel like, and maybe it's offensive lines, but the defense for the Chiefs obviously is helping with some of this in terms of them being a contender, and also just the offense being as good as it's been, where you look at the bottom 5 of the list and like, well, they're 5-4, but it feels like the offense can still be effective without just going under shotgun. Or the other
efficiency would say the Chiefs are doing well because they're number 2 in points per drive. So the efficiency part of the Chiefs, they are number 2 right behind the Colts as far as 2.83 points per drive.
Top 5 records. The top 5 teams' records are 34-12. The bottom 5 are 16-31. And I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, it's that simple. Just go under center and you're going to win games.
That's a good point.
My point is definitely not that like you just do that and automatically you're going to be a winning team, Commanders. Yeah. That's not the point. It's just that I can't believe how far off the pace that they are. And I do not think it's a coincidence that the top 5 teams are all viewed as Super Bowl contenders. That's all.
Well, and to your point, Gold, I do think like whether they need to do it or not, it does help out the run game, which in turn helps out the passing game with the play action stuff and all the other stuff that comes with it. So you think maybe the Chiefs don't necessarily need it, but maybe it would just make them a tick better, because all of a sudden teams have to respect the run maybe a little bit more because they're more effective out of single back formation when Patrick Mahomes is under center. It gives the defense more to think about than just, well, they'll be in shotgun every single time.
You just don't want to be predictable. This goes back to tells. You don't want to be predictable because when you're under center, all of a sudden you turn around and hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt because he's more comfortable being in the backfield.
Play action.
You don't want to be a total tell. So when you're under center, you're going to be running the ball. So you don't want to be that way.
In 10 minutes, Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, we'll ask him about this as well, get a player's perspective. That's coming up in just a bit. Now, yesterday, we didn't get to this. I forgot during one of the breaks yesterday. Of course, Bink is filling in. Logan's filling in. Cody had surgery. Surgery went well. He's expected back on Wednesday. We texted with him yesterday morning, so all is fine there. You called Cody soft. You said you had hernia surgery?
I did.
And you said what happened?
I was back at work.
Right away. The next day?
Yeah, next day.
There's no way the doctor said you should have done that.
No, they didn't say
either
way.
That's
they said do what you want to do.
So you think Cody?
No way.
I was high on a Vicodin and pain pills, but the boss at the time checked with our HR department and said, "Is it okay if Jay goes on the radio because he's saying some silly things. And I was, because I was a little bit out of it, but I still did the show. And you know what? I did cuss. It's the first time I ever used the dump button on myself because I cuss all the time. But I cussed within 5 seconds of the show.
So you shouldn't have been at work.
You think Cody should already be back?
Yes. I do. He should be. Dury Vision. You did Dury Vision. I did Dury Vision. I was a
What does that have to do with this?
Because I did Dury Vision and showed up that day to do the show. Well, I did it at 8 o'clock, and I showed up at 10 o'clock to do a solo show because Henry was gone at the time. I'm just saying.
Couple things.
No, it's the same thing.
No, a couple things. Number one, getting LASIK, which I did do thanks to Dury, is not the same as having hernia surgery.
They both suck because I couldn't see the screen.
One is using a laser to cut open your abdomen, in this case.
Sure.
The other one is using a laser, obviously, and they're creating a flap on your eye, but it's not nearly as invasive. And
they both suck.
I missed one day for the LASIK.
So the LASIK I really enjoyed.
No, the LASIK, it's one of the best things.
Hernia sucks.
But you're saying that Cody should be back. I'm going to make sure Cody hears
Cody
this.
should be back.
I'm going to jot this note down. When Cody's back on Wednesday, Cody's back on Wednesday, we're going to bring this up. I want to play the audio.
Maybe. 1 or 2 days, I get it. A week? Come on, man.
Someone said, Bink, you had hernia surgery back in the 1800s. It's a little bit different now.
No, just a couple years ago, but I was back the next day.
There's also different types of hernias, right?
I bet it's pretty similar.
Not necessarily. Could be different. He said he's had it for 10 years.
Mine was a long time, too.
I would not expect him to be back this week at all. The guy had surgery.
Bink, I need you to take 2 seconds right now. Just say Cody Tapp is soft.
Cody Tapp is Charmin. But the old.
That works.
I had to have surgery one time on another issue, and
Another issue.
Well, I show up during everything, but I was coming in with you, and actually had to make a phone call to you saying I'm just not going to be able to make it. That was the toughest phone call to make because I always show up, and I just couldn't that day. So I'm like, oh, I can't do it, man. I can't. But that's the only day that I've done it. So I have done it. But I didn't wait a week.
I think not being back 2 days after surgery is more than acceptable.
I don't think so. I think you should tough it up. I mean, it's Chiefs Broncos, big week.
Oh, you think he should have picked a different week?
The bye week would have been perfect.
I mean, it turns out that there's certain availability, man, and when there's availability, you do it. You don't
Find
really.
another one. There's a bunch of doctors
you don't
in this
say
town for
no.
hernias.
I got to wait another 3 months.
He's that guy in that car. Remember that guy who was driving around in the car doing surgeries?
Oh, in the back of the Toyota Camry?
Yeah, that guy could have done it.
I don't think that guy was doing hernia surgeries. That guy was
He should be back, though. I mean, this is a big week. I get it. Bye week, he should have done it. You plan these things out. Like, okay, the bye week.
In fairness, he probably couldn't get a schedule. I was gone last week, so.
But that was a good week to do it. You were out there swimming with dolphins. It was the bye week.
Both of us. No. My point is, even if he could have had surgery last week, he couldn't because I was already gone.
Yeah, he could have.
Well, it would have been a bad decision.
You're telling Cody to toughen up, do some smelling salts, and get in the studio is what you're telling him to do.
It's a big week. I mean, one day, that's fine, but the whole week? Come on, man.
I'll make sure Cody hears this when we get back.
You asked my opinion, I gave it to you.
Oh, you did, and I appreciate that. All right, up next, Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, will join us. We'll ask him about Xavier Worthy and these tendencies that are being discussed right now and what he makes of that receiving room in Denver, because not a lot of people are giving it much respect. We'll get to that next.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Creed Humphrey. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. Starting on December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. With live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started. All on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. And you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game of FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/25. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Does this sound like you? Every step of reach is a reminder of what hurts, a reminder of what you can't do. But I've got good news for you. Relief is closer than you think, and it doesn't have to come from a scalpel. What if it could come from you? At QC Kinetics, we tap into your body's own regenerative power using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve the pain at its source. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. Just your body remembering how to feel alive again. And this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to our heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment, and for every non-veteran who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. So now's the perfect time to book your free consultation with Saturday appointments to fit your schedule. Call QC Kinetics today, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, QC Kinetics.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Hi, I'm Nick. And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box so that family memories would be safe and could always be enjoyed together.
And starting now, we're offering listeners early access to our best deal of the year during our $9 tape sale.
1 million families and counting have trusted Legacy Box to convert their aging media because Legacy Box is safe, simple, and affordable.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your videotapes, film reels, and photos aren't protected unless they're on a digital format.
With the holidays approaching, don't wait. Simply fill your Legacy Box. We'll take care of the rest.
It's the most meaningful thing you can do this holiday season, and the perfect time during our best sale of the year.
Visit legacybox.com/value to get early access to our Black Friday sale and digitize your memories for only $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/value. legacybox.com/value.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Look, we all get random emails. I'm not even talking about like true spam, but like somehow you end up on this list. I've tried to get off this list, Bink. I got another email today from the Decatur Morgan County Tourism Board or whatever group. I've never... Decatur, Georgia, or Alabama, sorry. Decatur, Alabama is actually what this one is. I've never been to Alabama. I have never looked to go to Decatur, Alabama. How am I on this list?
Because they got your email somewhere from a list, from a team or whatever. They bought it and they sent it to you.
Like, it's one thing if I was looking to travel. I've never. But anyway, if you're wondering, they have a annual Christmas tour of homes coming up in Decatur, Alabama on December 13th.
I still get them from Dallas all the time. Remember that Big 12 media days in there? I remember. Were you in Boise or Wichita then?
I was in Topeka.
Topeka. But anyway, I saw Gold down there. I knew Gold from the station, obviously. And I'd gone down for Big 12 media days. So we go down there, and you and I were at this point. This hotel had these like Fox Sports free dinners and stuff and drinks, and we were hitting like everything free. At
Barry Switzer was there. Yeah, I remember.
Switzer selfie.
Yes. No, I remember that.
That was fun.
No, that was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
All right, let's talk some Chiefs football with Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. He, of course, will be in Denver this afternoon on the broadcast with Mitch Holthus and Josh Klingler right here on 96.5 The Fan. And our conversation with Danan are brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue. And brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Danan, good to have you on the show. Do you do anything special for the bye week? Did you go back to your player days and say, I'm getting out of town? What did you do?
Well, good to be with you guys. Yeah, it was a nice bye week. Actually, I just relaxed and rested at home and got some quality time with the wife and kids and grandkids. So it was kind of chill. Got out around town to a few of my favorite restaurants and got some good meals and just trying to prepare for this next stretch. But I am disappointed, guys.
Uh-oh. I'm
disappointed in one thing. We got the bye week, opportunity to rest. I look at the injury report. Isaiah Pacheco is the only one on the Chiefs that did not practice. And Cody is not in the building.
Thanks, Danan.
Like, we need everybody. We need everybody to be participating. We need everybody to suck it up.
Yep.
And be ready for this grind. These next 8 games are most important. We are in must-win mode, and Cody's taking a day off for surgery?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I was here the next day after same surgery. I was here the next day, Danan, on that. Hey, I will say this. I'm curious. Whenever you travel to these places, because I know that you guys have a chance for Buffalo wings there in Buffalo and all that, is there any place in Denver you want to go to, or is that a no-no? Is it just pack your lunch and bring it to Denver because you don't want to spend any money in Denver?
So Buffalo, you guys know I don't eat bone-in wings,
Right.
so I didn't really eat any wings in Buffalo.
It's ridiculous too, Danan.
Yeah, team boneless for life. I am boneless. Hashtag boneless for life. Denver, you guys are one of the great movies of all times, a hidden gem. Things to do in Denver when you're dead. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
It's a great movie. Great movie. Andy Garcia. Yeah, a great movie. So for the listeners out there, the adult listeners, go watch that. Excellent movie. But to answer your question, not really. I mean, we went to a Nuggets game a few years ago. I don't have any desire to do anything outside of Denver but win. They have won the last 10 home games in a row dating back to week 6 last year. So they've been dominant at home. So I feel like this is a business trip that although I may go out to dinner with the sponsors that the Chiefs bring in, I don't feel like it's going to be very social outside of that.
Coming off a bye week, if you're a player, if you're a coach, we all know you do some self-scouting. We know the public information normally doesn't get out there about how a team is noticing tendencies. You're trying to break your own tendencies. It was the Bills a couple weeks ago. One of their players mentioning a tendency that they saw from Xavier Worthy. That's been a topic all week here. As a wide receiver, I'm assuming you probably had tendencies as a player as well. How normal is that? How easy is that to break? And how big of a deal is it?
It's very normal, guys, to have tendencies. I think in any sport, heck, in any walk of life, there's ways that you show up to work. There's ways that you show up on the court, on the field. And if you're paying attention, if you have a wily veteran or a coach that is dialed in, you can find out anything about anybody as far as their tendencies, how they break the huddle, how they line up. I reposted the 1997 Chiefs-Broncos game with Pete Stoyanovich kicking the game-winning field goal.
All right.
And I watched myself on that tape, and I was like, oh, this is a run play. Oh, that's a pass play. Oh, I'm not getting the ball. I'm like, from an analyst standpoint now, almost 30 years later, like you recognize, like, oh my gosh, like, was it that glaring? Did other teams or other players recognize some certain things? And that's where you have to be focused and disciplined as a player. And more so, if a coach finds something, the tricky part is not necessarily finding things, guys. It's having the guts to be able to dial into it and to roll the dice. I mean, people talk about Tony Romo and his abilities to call plays before they happen. Most analysts can do that. It's just having the guts to do it. It's having the guts to roll the dice and in case you're wrong. In the case of plays being tipped or players tipping plays, you have to roll the dice on whether you're wrong. If you think it's going to be a run based on somebody's alignment and then you're wrong and you get gashed, then it's your fault. So it's not so much that you can't find out things. It's just a matter of if the coaching and, more importantly, if the players are willing to roll the dice on what they study and see. But it is very normal across the landscape, and it might not happen. Here's the key. Those tendencies might not show themselves in the first drive or the first quarter. They show themselves when you start getting tired, when you start grinding, when you got that 12-play drive, and you start breathing heavy. Now, all of a sudden, what I saw on film becomes more prevalent, and it gets down to the minute details. I remember being coached from Bill Snyder in college, even with the Kansas City Chiefs later in my career, guys lining up at 9 yards versus lining up at 9.5. Guys right foot forward versus left foot forward. Their eyes are into the quarterback versus their eyes on me at the wide receiver position. Even in special teams and punt rushes and punt blocks and kickoff returns and reverses and all that stuff. So it's out there. It's just a matter of having the discipline and the willingness and the guts to roll the dice.
How rare is it, though, for a player, like I think it was Hairston for the Bills, to just publicly, hey, here was his tendency to say that? Like, why would you even say that publicly?
I think it's a great ploy. It's a great game within the game. If you really want to get inside the head of another player, what better way could you do that? If you want Xavier Worthy, let's say we face the Bills in the postseason, and you want Xavier Worthy to be thinking about something else besides making a big play or jet sweeps or flip passes or being in the wishbone, all the quirkiness of what we display offensively. Have him thinking a little bit about his alignment. Have him thinking a little bit about how he breaks the huddle. That little bit can be the difference between a big play being made and not being made. So I give him credit. Now, it's a rookie that said it. If you're talking about Hairston, like, that's bold. And you got to put yourself on the island, but obviously he has a lot of moxie and a lot of confidence because I think it's pretty bold. It's just another level of trash talk.
Obviously, this is a big game. 17-3 against the Broncos the previous 10 years, the last decade, Danan. And I know you guys made it an emphasis with Marty to beat the Raiders. Heck, Danan, you were 9-1 against the Raiders as a player. But you were 5
Why'd you have to bring that one up?
Well, they're the one. You're actually the division because the Seahawks were in it too. The Seahawks actually had more wins than anybody when you were a player, Dana. But you were 5-6 against the Broncos. When you look at the Broncos now, and of course the Chargers are there too. You had a winning record in Chargers too, by the way. But when you look at the Broncos, is this public enemy number one for the Chiefs? And now the Raiders just aren't as viable as what they were when you were playing. How big is this rivalry, do you think, to the Chiefs, now to the Broncos? Patrick Mahomes is 13-1 against them. Does this ring true for Denver and the hatred toward the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, how big, when you look at the hierarchy of the AFC West, is Chiefs and Broncos once again?
So I will say this. I have almost the same level of hatred for the Raiders as I do the Broncos, and here's why. You mentioned the 9-1 record. The one loss was the last game I played in my career, 1998. The last game of the season, we lost to the Raiders. So thanks a lot for bringing that up. The other part is the Denver Broncos. We didn't fare as well against them. The last playoff game that I played in as a player, we lost to the Denver Broncos. So thanks for bringing that up. And so I could say equal hatred, Bink.
It was
equal
close,
hatred
Danan.
for these guys. But, the fact remains is that we had no love for anybody else in the AFC West. Seattle was in it back then, and you felt the same way. There was definitely a heightened kind of level of anger and vitriol when you talked about the Raiders and definitely the Broncos. So I feel like these guys feel it too nowadays. They may not speak about it, but I think they feel it, and especially when you consider the last time we faced them, we didn't go out with all of our starters. We were in a great position, but they drummed us pretty good up there, and now we got an opportunity to change the tide.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. I asked you about Xavier Worthy. What about the Broncos wide receiver room? So much is focused in on their defense, obviously Bo Nix, but the wide receiver room, does it deserve more credit? Is it pretty pedestrian? What do you see from that room that I know is headlined by Cortland Sutton, but I don't think they impress a whole lot of people, at least on the fan side of things?
The one thing that jumps out to me is their size. And Cortland Sutton, as you mentioned, the first one, 6'4". Then you got Troy Franklin, 6'3". Bryant, 6'2". I mean, they're big guys. Even Marvin Mims, he's not listed very tall, but he plays bigger. So you got to consider their game plan offensively is not to put themselves in a position to make mistakes that cost their defense. So don't turn the ball over on their end of the field, so you're giving the defense short field, so the defense has, less opportunity to win. So what they've done a lot of is fade routes on the outside, slant routes from the outside, bubble screens to those big receivers. They can run the ball effectively in open space. So that's kind of their MO, crossing routes, because not only is it tough to keep up with the wide receiver on a crossing route, but if he's 6'4", it's even tougher to deal with as a corner or a safety. So they simplified the offense for Bo Nix that makes it minimal in regards to abilities to put their defense in holes. So that when you consider where they are, they lead the league with 53 punts on the season. So they've opted to say, you know what, we're going to punt the ball away to opposing offenses and roll the dice there as opposed to rolling the dice with the efficiency and the passing of our offense and putting the weight on the shoulders of Bo Nix. That's kind of been their MO this year, and how do you argue with that when they're 8-2?
Dana, when you look at their defense, obviously that pass rush is elite. Something we haven't seen in the last 35 years as far as the amount of sacks they have this far in the season. I know people are talking about Nick Bonito a lot. That's fine. But Zach Allen's pretty good as well on that defensive line. He can get after the quarterback. But I'm curious because Denver is so good in so many areas on defense. No Surtain in this game. But they did draft Jahdae Barron, the corner out of Texas. Already has an interception. I think that was a smart draft pick considering other teams in the division went running back. They go corner. But when you look at that, is there a place where the Chiefs can exploit this Denver defense, or how much of a problem can that pass rush be? Can the Chiefs actually throw against the Broncos?
I think we can. I mean, I hate to say it from one side because he's a former Hawkeye, but Riley Moss has been a guy that has been targeted a lot. T. Higgins pretty much owns him over the last 2 years, and that's just one receiver that has had success against Riley Moss. And when you consider without Patrick Surtain, the second, how will Denver line up their defense when you consider with us, Rashee Rice on the outside? Will they employ more zone coverage? I think they'll probably employ more zone coverage and challenge us to see how confident, how comfortable we are with 12 to 14 play drives in that hostile environment and not really expose that rookie Barron or Riley Moss to potential big plays down the field. Plus, we're tough to man-to-man cover because we run so much motion and shifts and we move guys inside and out that lining up man-to-man, you create some uncertainty from a defensive standpoint. So I feel like there's opportunity. I will say number 9, Hufanga, the safety, to me, he's a problem because he runs around. He's like a Tasmanian devil out there. Like his head, like he is everywhere, and he finishes plays. He plays through the echo of the whistle, and that has been a huge component. So although you give love to those frontline guys, the front 7, and Singleton being a factor, coming Bonito obviously being the anchor, Cooper as far as a rush. Those guys in the back end, they play really good complementary football, and that safety number 9, he's kind of the pulse of that defense. He plays with the intensity that contributes to their winning ways defensively. So we're going to have our hands full.
Before we let you go, Danan, I want to ask you about something we discussed in the first segment of the show. I just thought it was interesting. There's been a lot of talk about the Chiefs, specifically, in short yardage and going under the center versus being in shotgun and trying to run the ball and some of the success or lack thereof. And there was some numbers that were put out this week that the top 5 teams that go under center this year: Seattle, the Rams, the Lions, the Bills, the Patriots. Bottom 5, Saints, Bengals, Chiefs, Commanders, Falcons. Now, the Chiefs do it 11% of the time. Seattle does it 70%. I am by no means saying the Chiefs need to be anywhere near 70% of the time going under center. That's just not who their quarterback is, not how their team is, etc. But do you think this team could be more effective if they went under center at least a little bit more?
Absolutely. I think in many ways, when you consider when this offense has been efficient running the ball with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, it has been the sole I formation, Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, 6 yards, 7 yards deep, behind the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes under center. It has been kind of night and day to me as far as their efficiency and effectiveness in the run game. And then it changes the angles of the rush on the outside. When you have those outside guys, in this situation, you have Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper. If you're standing in shotgun formation, the angles and the exposure of the tackles is different than if you're under center. They have to come a little tighter to the line of scrimmage when you're under center because you still have the threat of a run play. When you're in shotgun, they can come a little wider up the field, which can expose the tackles and put them more on an island and susceptible to the speed rush from the outside. So I think that's what's great about this bye week being when it was, because the self-scouting, as you mentioned earlier, really comes into effect, where I'm sure our personnel pointed that out, and we'll see maybe some minor adjustments. I don't think we'll get to the point of being 70%, like you said, but if we can increase that number closer to 40 or 50 and get in less predictable situations and not allow those outside rushers to pin their ears back because we're in shotgun and we throw the ball more from shotgun than we run, then I think that'll bode well for us.
Danan Hughes will be listening Sunday afternoon right here on 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs, Broncos. Tonight, players only, right? 6 o'clock?
No players only this week after the bye. I was on last week. I'll be back next week.
Okay.
I think you guys got some K-State action tonight, so tune in next week. We'll talk about this Donkeys win.
I love it. There you go. Thanks, Danan.
All right.
That's Danan Hughes with us here on 96.5 The Fan. Our conversations with Danan brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and brought to you by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Yeah, Hufanga, the safety for the Broncos.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
He came over from the Niners. This dude is a stud. I mean, second leading tackler on the team, but he's got 2 sacks as well. They do blitz him. So in certain situations, like he's a big part of that pass rush for the Broncos. He'll come up and go after the quarterback from the safety position. So that is, He is an incredibly good player.
Here in 10 minutes, we will get to some comments from Missouri football coach Eli Drinwitz. Thought they were very interesting about kind of the current climate of college football, with the way the college football playoff is set up. I thought they were interesting comments based on where they currently sit as a program, but it impacts the entire world of college football. I thought that was interesting, so we'll get there in a bit. Yesterday, I hope you guys caught it because I thought it was a really good interview, especially if you like hearing somebody nationally talk about Kansas City. Jim Nantz was on with CDOT yesterday, and you should go back and listen to it. But one part really stood out to me because we've had debate on this show months back, all the way back. I guess it would have been in April because of the Masters. And that was Drew saying he could break 100 at Augusta. You guys remember this? And it was a whole back and forth. And remember, we almost got Drew into the Korn Ferry Tour, the whole thing, all right? That was supposed to happen. I still think it should happen. Anyway, Drew said he could break 100 at Augusta. And we said, well, not from the tips, not from where the pros are going. But anyway, Drew, they basically asked Jim Nantz that question. So here was his answer.
Depends on what tees they put you on. That's the truth, okay? If they put you all the way back, no. But if you play like the members tees, yes. Now, look, my game is shoddy. It used to be decent decades ago. But when I play Augusta, it all comes down to, can you chip and putt? If you're going to hole out everything and have a legitimate score, can you chip and putt? Because you can drive it in a lot of places. For us wild hitters off the tee, you can still manufacture a second shot and get the ball close to the green, if not on the green, with your second shot. The canopies are raised high enough, and you're not going to be stymied that many times, and there's not that much out of bounds. And, I mean, it's pretty generous off the tee. But you better be able to putt, and you better be ready to experience chipping and putting and balls running out like you've never seen in your life.
What do you make of that? Because from the tips, no chance, which is what we said.
I think he referenced himself, though, for the because the question was the weekend golfer, the people who are like the regular Joes that play.
That would be you. And you don't even golf on a weekend basis.
What would you consider? I'd be.
Wait, you think you're better than the random weekend golfer?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. 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 Right.
Drew is awful.
I played with I played with one of our Odyssey salespeople.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that makes you pro.
No. No, I played with him and a couple of his friends and shot 38 on a par 36. First time I played in 7 months. And I was like,
we're talking about Augusta, though.
I don't know. I understand. They're like, what handicap are you? I was like, I don't know, probably like a 7 or 8. They're like, no, I think you're more like a 5 or a 6. Legitimately, I think there's a difference between 5 and 6 in weekend golfer who shoots a 45 like a bogey round, which is 18, which is like for 18, your handicap's 18 if you play bogey golf. I feel like if
members tee, I'll give you, based on what Jim Nantz said, members tee, absolutely you could do it then.
I think Jim is right, though, that it all comes down to the chipping and putting.
From the tips, though, from where the pros are going, you're not breaking 100 at Augusta. And the question was not even asked about, like, obviously it's the same question we've asked with you, but I think Carrington phrased it like about Speck, because Speck has also said the same thing.
I think Speck and I could both break 100 from the tips. If Speck is the handicap that he says he is, I think, because again, it's not just bogey golf. You could double bogey every single hole on one of the 9s and bogey the other 9. Not get a single solitary par and break 100 at Augusta.
But I think what we've said is you're telling me there's not going to be one hole where it just blows up in your face. And we're talking not just triple bogey. I don't know. We're talking that you are literally going to have it blow up in your face on one particular hole.
No, if we're talking what Jim Nantz said, and I believe it's true, where the course is relatively wide open,
you'd be in Rays Creek.
I don't think I'd be in Rays Creek. You would. No.
Did you like Jim's answer then? Or no? Or you disagree?
I thought he was honest for the everyday weekend golfer that probably shoots 45 every single time.
The pros land in Rays Creek.
That's because they try to Bink. The reason they land in Rays Creek is because they're trying to hit they're trying to carry a 250-yard shot with a 4-iron over the creek to get to the green in 2. I'm not going for the green in 2. I'm laying up.
I want to see this now.
I'm laying up.
And
here's
I'm not going for
it.
And the texter's correct. Another argument that we'll never probably be able to get the real answer to.
I want to see you fight, and I want to see you play the Masters.
I mean,
Bink, I will.
I still think we need to get you in the Pro-Am or whatever, the Korn Ferry qualifying, I'm sorry. Remember, we were very close to making this happen this past June.
Yeah.
I think it still needs to happen. Yep. And again, the debate was not whether we'll qualify, but like if he has a good showing there, then it gives me even more faith that he could do it.
There is zero chance I would qualify. I would have had to bag a 67.
Yeah, nobody. That wouldn't be like. It's not like, oh, if you don't qualify, you can't break 100. That's at Augusta. That wasn't it. But just that was going to be the fun part of the whole thing.
And also, Danan's right when he talked about the hernia surgery. You get back this big week. He was right about that.
I say Danan's cut too. We're going to play that back.
Well, no, he was also right about tells because you have a tell, Drew. Whenever you walk in with a drink or something, I know you're not going to Quick Trip. Like I look at you and what you come in with.
I haven't been
and if it's a podcast day, I know you're not going to Quick Trip. Like I look at you when you come in.
I haven't been to Quick Trip legitimately. I haven't been to this Quick Trip here in like months.
We gave me a burrito yesterday.
Yeah, from McDonald's.
But I know you're not going out if you come a certain way. Like I have that. You have a tell about you. I can tell right when you walk in if you're going to go out for something to drink or eat later.
All right, up next, let's get to what Eli Drinkwitz had to say about the state of college football. Interesting comments and what we could see with coaches this offseason in the NFL, even if they make the playoffs. That's next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel, because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off, and if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/Alex for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets with expired 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Macy's Veterans Day sale is one of your best chances to save big on furniture and mattresses. That's because you'll find great deals on our best sellers, like our exclusive Radley 5-piece sectional, delivered to any room in your home with white glove delivery for $25.98. And so many top brand mattresses at 20 to 60% off, plus an extra 20% off closeouts. So come in, try it all out, and get an incredible deal today at Macy's Veterans Day sale. Savings off select styles, exclusions apply.
You've got a big day.
So you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
You know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Well, Glide Step Skechers slip-ins has got it, and you need it. Just step in. No hands necessary. And instantly your shoes are on. No bending down, no touching. It takes putting on your shoes to a new level of convenience. Whether you're running errands, walking the dog, or on your feet all day at work, Glide Step keeps you comfortable from morning to night, all with the ease of slip-ins. Plus, Glide Step Skechers slip-ins are available in styles for men, women, and kids. From casual to athletic to work footwear, even sandals. So you can get the comfort of Glide Step anywhere, anytime. Put some major spring in your step with Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, KC? It's George Karlaftis. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danan, and Kling on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon with you. Jay Binkley filling in again for Cody. Bink will fill in one more time before Cody's back next week. Logan filling in tomorrow and
next
on
week.
Monday. That's right. That's right.
Hell, man.
Bink's been giving Cody crap
next
all
week,
show.
He's got a full weekend.
All show long, Bink's been giving Cody a hard time.
Is he going to come back for Colts week, I guess?
He'll be back next week. He'll be back next Wednesday. We'll get to the trash of the day here in about 15 minutes or so. Did someone, I'll give the text line credit, somebody texted this in. I was not aware that it had reached this number. So the Mega Millions jackpot's getting up there, okay? The next drawing is tomorrow. And the cash option is $445 million. But the jackpot, estimated jackpot, $965 million, as in 96.5 The Fan.
That's right.
I mean, is this not a sign? Is this not a sign that as a station, as a maybe this show, I don't know, I was going to say station, but we, I think, have to pool some money together and go office pool here.
You see it all the time. Winning lottery tickets are from a company where everybody kind of chipped in for it. It's what happens.
And we got to talk to the boss.
But they are $5 now because Powerball
or Mega Millions is
$5,
$5.
which is silly.
It's ridiculous. But
But like you always joke about that, if it's 300 million, people don't play. When it gets 900 million, everybody plays.
It's almost a bill.
It's like 300 million is not good enough for you.
Almost $1 billion, but 965. I mean, it is. Come on, we've never had this since the station switched over to 96.5 The Fan FM. We haven't had a $965 million jackpot. I'm just saying.
I'll pitch in right now. Let's do it.
Okay, you're in for a ticket or two?
$10,
2 tickets?
Couple tickets.
You're in for 10?
Yeah.
You're in for 10, Drew. Can you get in for 10? All of a sudden, we've got $30 worth of ticket. We get Drew along with C-Dot, Dusty, Rob, Speck. I think we got to do this. You know,
have Cody go get it. He's not doing anything.
Well, I'll text him and see if he wants in the pool. See if he's capable of going out and getting a ticket, or if he can Venmo me or something. I'm just saying, we might as well have some fun with this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the storybook, ending to all this? $965 million, 96.5
They'd be looking for 10 new hosts.
They would be. You know what? That's their problem.
Open.
That's their problem at that point in time. Anyway, thank you to the texter that mentioned that. I did not see the jackpot amount, but that is funny that it happens to be that. All right, let's talk about Eli Drinkwitz a little bit here. So we all know his name has been coming up for some of the openings, and we'll see how it all plays out. This year, sky-high expectations. Unfortunately, their quarterback got hurt. That did not help things for them. But prior to that Vanderbilt game, they were in position where you win that game, you would have been sitting pretty good.
All except the A&M game, they've been in position.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
This was the year, too, Alex, because they weren't playing a road game until October 18th, which is an unusual schedule. They didn't have to go on the road till October 18th, but I get it.
Okay. So
this was the year.
He was speaking to the media yesterday. And was talking about the college football playoff system that we have, right? It's a 12-team playoff, and all the talk is about getting into the playoff. This was on Tiger Talk, and this was Eli Drinkwitz.
And there's always something to play for. I talked about this in the SEC media days, okay? We got to get out of this. Oh, man, it's playoffs or bust. Yes, again, we're shooting for the moon. We're going to put our whole self into that. But only 12 teams make the playoffs, and we put ourselves in position in November to be there, okay? Didn't get it done. I got that. But if the season only counts for 12 football teams, and we got 127 Division I playing football teams, that math's not going to math very well. That math's not going to math very well, okay? Football is more than just the playoff potential. And, again, we were there. We were there. We didn't get it done. But, there's a whole heck of a lot to be proud of. There's a whole heck of a lot to play for. Again, when I took over, we didn't go to a bowl game. We had NCAA probation, all right? And ever since then, we've been going to a bowl game. And, there's a lot of programs right now that would trade us spots. I had a coach text me today. Said, Coach, there's a lot of programs in the country that would trade for the number of wins your team has. And that's a perspective that most people don't have.
So that was Eli Drinkwitz on Tiger Talk. Now, let me say this. I don't think in general his point is incorrect. I think he's the wrong messenger. I'll get to that in a second. I think the point is correct. There are plenty of programs that would love to have, I don't know what Missouri's going to end up with. Let's say it's 9 wins. I don't know what their final win total is going to be. We'll see how they do against, obviously, Oklahoma and what they got Arkansas still on the schedule as well, Mississippi State this weekend or whatever. So I don't know what their win total is going to be. And, yeah, there's plenty of programs. Heck, you guys know on the Kansas side of things with KU, they're sitting on 5 wins. We'll see if they get to bowl eligibility and finish with 6. There plenty of KU fans will be thrilled to have 9-win season. So I'm not saying he's not correct on that. But I must say, after having an 11-win season, a 10-win season, and expectations to make the college football playoff, you're in the SEC, which is brutal, but also it gives you the luxury of you don't have to win the SEC to get in the college football playoff. You don't have to finish anywhere near that at all. That if I was a fan of a program where my coach was saying that, like, it's not all just about the college football playoff, if I'm LSU, if I'm Florida, 2 programs that might be interested in hiring them, I don't like hearing that. In fact, this makes me think he's not leaving Missouri.
It's a bad look all the way around. Then I'll say this whole excuse of get in the bowl games, that whole nonsense there. There's 36 bowl games, 11 with the college football playoff. It's 47 total.
It's crazy.
But so we're looking at 52% of 136. So if you take 36 times 2 teams, 52% of college football teams are in a bowl game. So just making it to a bowl game, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. I've seen 2 coaches fired that have played in a bowl game. So we had 8 bowl games in 1980. So the excuse of just making a bowl game and trading there, no. When 52% of teams make a bowl game, that's not good enough.
When you have one of the top recruiting classes, when you've got
best portal,
pretty good NIL backing behind you, and for 2 years prior, you were a 10 and 11 win team. Yeah, it's normal to have the thought that it's a college football playoff season or bust.
It's ridiculous in several factors, and I get it, getting to the playoffs, but that should be everybody's goal. And if I'm LSU or Florida or Penn State or everybody else, I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll take 10 or 11 wins. That's great. But you know what? Nebraska fired Solich for double-digit wins. It's about winning it all. Any sport you get into should be about rings. It should be about championships, getting yourself in a dance. For Missouri, they had to be pissed when they look at A&M or Ole Miss or Alabama or Georgia, these teams that are right now in the college football playoffs. They should be upset. That should be the expectation. When you are one of the top highest paid coaches in college football and you're making $10 million a year, yes, the fan base – with all the money they're ponying up, keep in mind, these teams go to fan bases all the time. Hey, can you help us? Missouri's doing a whole new end zone. Kansas is doing a new facility. When you go to donors and ask for millions of dollars, and then all of a sudden you go back to them and ask for nil money to pay players. And so you're going back on all this. Your expectation in fans paying you millions of dollars, donors should have the expectation that you want to win a championship because they're reaching into their pockets and their bank accounts for millions of dollars for someone that's just happy to go to a bowl game that 52% of teams make.
Where I'll defend him. I know you guys are shocked that I'm willing to defend Eli Drinwitz because you all think that I can't look at Missouri neutrally. I can. I would say he obviously has a goal, and his ultimate goal is to win a national championship. He obviously is not happy with where it looks like their season is going to go.
I don't want to be in the college football playoffs
but that I will agree. I think if they were undefeated or had one loss, he's not saying this. I agree with you there. However, I don't want to make it seem like he's now just fine with being a bowl team. He's clearly not. That's why I say he's the wrong messenger, though, because he's the coach of a program that was 3 weeks ago, that's all you were thinking was college football playoff. And now that it's probably clear that you're not making the college football playoff, now it's like, well, see, it's not that. Now, he said he has brought this up before. I think at the beginning of the clip, he said, hey, I've mentioned this before tonight. But it's not something I would ever want my coach saying is all that's all I would get at. Like if I'm a fan or a donor, I don't want my coach saying, there's more to it than just making college football playoffs.
Yeah, if he's making $9 million a year, which he is, and your goal is not to win at all or be in that dance when you see teams like SMU and crap like that get into the college football playoffs, you should have that expectation. And I get it. Prabila was hurt. That is a setback for him. But they bring out Ahmad Hardy, Zaya Trotter, Damon Wilson. I mean, they hit that portal hard, and they did a great job with it. But your expectations are the college football playoffs. Sorry, that's the game they play. And the game that play is you pay the players. Nil money, new stadiums, new facilities go up all the time. Texas Tech, with that oil money, just built a brand new $250 million facility that are done by donors that pony up for championships as the expectation. So I just don't like that because your only goal as a college football coach, it's about young men going to college and going to the field. That's not the way it is anymore. It's about guys getting paid to do commercials, guys getting paid from video games, guys getting paid to play the game of football. The goal is a championship, and it should be nothing else.
Yeah, but Bink, I think that because there are only 12 teams that make it, like just because you have expectations, the margins of error, especially in the SEC, is so razor thin that you can fail expectations but still have a great season. Like I think Florida, obviously one of the openings that's available right now, they would kill to have, forget making the playoff, they would kill to have the 3 seasons that Missouri has had 2 years ago and this one. Florida would kill to have the seasons that Missouri had.
But if they had that year if they did that 3 straight years, then at that point in time, you're expecting you to be in the college football playoff.
I understand that, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad season. I think that's where we're starting. It's not college football playoff or bust, where there is that line in the sand where if you don't make the playoff, it's a bad season. That's what, to me, if you're going to say college football playoff or bust, if you don't make the playoff, then it's a bad season, which I think is a load of crap for college football.
But you
because of the way that it's been.
I think so. You're not alone on that thinking. I think some of this, though, is those that are, and look, you and Bink are probably at the station the 2 most hardcore college football people at the station. I think that's fair to say, right? And so I think some of this is like you love college football so much that like you wanted to, like you guys watch MAC football on Tuesday nights and stuff. My point is this, that what you're saying, which like there's way more than the playoff. You guys also want it to be viewed as this grand best sport that there is on earth, and like everything's perfect about it and all this kind of stuff. And that to me is not reality, though. Like the players will themselves sit out the random bowl game that's on December 23rd because it doesn't mean anything.
I think to me, but this is the thing. If you're a player, though, if you want to say, I want to play for a championship contender, you're not going to Missouri. Because they didn't make the playoff. You wouldn't even go to Ole Miss.
But they could have, though, because SMU can sell that.
And Bink, hang on.
Clemson can sell that. They've been.
You wouldn't go to Florida because they haven't sniffed the playoff in 3 years. You wouldn't go to Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin has never made it to a college football playoff before.
I get it, but Florida has those expectations because they have rings.
I know.
Spurrier won a ring. Urban Meyer won a couple. They have expectations because they see the other teams and they want to get to that spot.
But if you're a player and you say, I want to play for a championship title contender, and if you view the sport as college football playoff or bust, then you're only committing to 12 teams.
You know what? If you're going to have that attitude,
you're not committing to Florida. You're not going to LSU.
You know what? If schools are going to have this attitude, don't reach the donors. Don't reach out to the donors. Say we need millions of dollars to pay our coach. We have $189 million being paid right now for buyouts for coaches. $54 million to Brian Kelly if he gets it. $49 million for James Franklin. You know where that money comes from? A lot of times. The money comes from donors that end up stepping up for the school and help paying off the coach's buyout. So you pay out the buyout, then they reach out back to you, call you again to pay the new coach's salary. Oh, no, they call you again because they want to put clubs in the stadium. They reach out. Oh, we need to get better players at our school. They reach out to you again. So if you're selling them that are now putting in billions of dollars or millions of dollars, and you're reaching out to them saying, well, if we don't make the playoffs, we're okay. That's not what they want to hear.
But again, if you look at Penn State, I think Penn State is learning very quickly that they made the wrong decision in getting rid of James Franklin.
That's different. I don't disagree.
Because they were not happy at not beating big teams, and instead they're going to hire a coach that is worse than James Franklin is at this point,
I agree.
And probably can't win big games either.
But isn't that also proof? I'm not saying it's right, but isn't that also proof that their donors also believe that for them it's playoffs or bust, it's national title or bust? That's why they fired them.
It's the new attitude of fan. That's what they want.
But because you don't make a playoff or because you lose in the playoff doesn't mean that you should just fire the coach because of expectations that are not handled properly.
Nobody's saying Eli should get fired.
No, I'm with you 100% on that. Eli deserves
Nobody's
to stay.
saying that's a different conversation.
I think the premise that Florida and LSU should not be interested in Coach Drinkwitz because of the comments is ridiculous because
if I'm a donor, I don't want that guy.
Missouri's been better than Brian Kelly has been the last 2 seasons. I don't understand how.
You know what? He's gone because he didn't reach those expectations.
Brian Kelly is gone because there was a locker room problem.
James Franklin went to a college football playoff last year. He went to a college football playoffs and he's already gone. You know why? Because those expectations of Penn State are to win.
But having those expectations as an organization and as boosters is problematic because you are never going to. Eli Drinkwitz is a top 20 head coach in the country. You're not going to find that guy very often. Even if you're Florida and you try to go and pay somebody, who's to say that coach is going to succeed and you're just going to keep on doing the same old circle again?
To me, that's a different.
You have to look at
everybody
if you're
get a trophy.
Florida. If you're Florida and you go 9-3 every single year, does it meet your expectations of making the playoff? No, but you're damn well in a better place than you've been in for the last 5 years or 6 years.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with. I view that as almost 2 separate conversations. If you're saying it's out of control with the buyouts and how coaches get fired for to me, I understand the connection, but I view it as a little bit separate. I think it's just more that acting like the fan bases should not just be happy to go to New Year's Six Bowls if you're at the level of to me where an SEC program is at. You're right. Every school has different expectations. At Kansas, nobody's saying college football playoffs or bust, but at some point just making a bowl game as a 6-win team is also not good enough. At Missouri, after a 10 and 11 win season in back-to-back years, just going to a December 29th bowl game is no longer good enough. I understand why fans have that sentiment.
I disagree because if you look at the SEC, when the way that I think it's more championship or bust if we go to 16 teams. Legitimately,
okay. I was going to ask you what the solution is.
That's fair.
Because for Missouri right now, the SEC is so good that this is the thing. They've lost. Let's say A&M kicked a game-winning field goal and won. All 3 of their losses would have been razor-thin, one-score games. That's enough for you to be pissed off at a coach because you lost 3 one-score games that were really close.
Drew, let me ask you this.
Somebody didn't quite come through. I think there's levels to you being ridiculous if you are mad and say it's a terrible season. If you go 9-3 and your 3 losses were by 1 possession, I think that is crazy.
The school comes to you. They want a $2 million donation. Are you going to tell them I expect playoffs, or are you just going to give it to them?
I think
they have expectations with that money.
I think coach having high expectations, which Coach Drinkwitz
Like if you're not going to the playoffs, are you ponying up $2 million? Are you getting a bank transfer for $2 million if they can't guarantee you, hey, we want to make a playoffs?
Bink, no, then no coach would get paid anything. Then no donors would donate anything. You cannot guarantee. Alabama missed the playoff last year. You cannot guarantee anything. So when you're going and say this is what we're trying to do, this is what we're rooting for, you got to get that buy-in from more than just we're championship or bust. Because I think if you're selling championship or bust, you're selling dramatically high expectations that you are very likely to fail on.
We're talking about James Franklin won 2 games in the college football playoffs last year. He beat SMU and Boise State, and he's gone. You know why? They have expectations at Penn State.
Because the Big Ten is very top-heavy. Penn State last year could have just they were going to make the playoff. It was always going to be that way. This season they kind of fell apart on them. But last year in the Big Ten, it's more top-heavy. This year is kind of the same way. The SEC is so deep and so difficult that the margins of error are so thin that, to me, you finishing 7th in the SEC and going 9-3, 10-3 with a bowl win is very good given how tough the conference is. You're not going to make the playoff every year because the conference is so tough. That's why, sorry to tell Missouri fans this, you made your bed when you went to the SEC because you wanted more money and a secure future. You probably sacrificed a shot at the playoff or an easier shot because you left the Big 12, which is an easier conference.
We're going to move on. Obviously, we'll get back to this. I would just say, lastly, that nobody's suggesting that Missouri is having a terrible season if they win 9 games, but I think there's still the balance.
If you're saying college football playoff or bust, I think you are saying that then.
Yeah, I think it depends on what the expectation was going into the season. Like there can be some truth on both sides, right? Like you're trying to build off of the season that you had before as well. Like if Kansas, and we're almost at this point now, like if Kansas wins 7 games in a row for 4 straight years, and then they have a top recruiting class, and going into the season, the expectation is to win the Big 12 and go to the college football playoff, and they get 7 wins again, it is a bad season. It is okay to say that. You cannot. It's okay to not be complacent while also not claiming the coach should get fired. Nobody's saying Eli Drinkwitz should get fired by winning 9 games. I don't think anybody's suggesting that at all.
Would you say that Kansas State is having a bad season?
Based on their expectations, yes, absolutely.
I think
because they can tangibly get to the playoffs.
I think K-State has a bad season if they lose, if they don't make a bowl game and they lose Avery Johnson. Because if they find a way to get to 8-5 and they retain Avery Johnson, they found a way to stay as good as they can be. Otherwise,
there's one other caveat.
We'll get back to this later.
There's one other thing that bothered me.
We'll get back to this later.
One other thing that bothered me when Eli said math doesn't math. There's 127 teams.
I don't care about that.
Well, here's the deal. If you're going to use the word math doesn't math, understand and believe there's 136 teams in FBS football, not 127. So don't say math doesn't math when there's actually 136.
We'll get back to this later. Obviously, we disagree on the expectation. I think some of this does have to do with our fandom and teams that we particularly root for. I'm talking on the pro level as well as the college level as well, and what we expect and where expectations are at. But let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, this is a bizarre one. This takes us to a Chinese influencer, okay? He's a fashion and beauty content creator on social media.
Like Drew.
Revealed that 20% of his body contains, I think, hyaluronic acid, I think is how it's pronounced. He went viral when he spent 4 million, won or whatever, 562,000 US dollars. How about that? To have 40 doses of acid injected into his shoulders, collarbones, chest, and abdomen. So he hasn't, there's a photo, Bink, I'll show you. He has like an 8-pack, but it's all because he was injected with acid, which I'm sure is totally healthy and there's no repercussions. Experts did warn that his commitment to these acid injections could have very serious long-term consequences like bone erosion, blood vessel necrosis, weakening of the natural muscles, and acid pouch displacement. He is trying to reach 10,000 of these injections. It's a fake 8-pack, the first of its kind in China.
I always like that football fan that shaved the 6-pack in his chest hair, so it looks like
that
a
was
6-pack.
You.
I would do that. It's much safer. It's much safer.
It is much safer.
Much safer.
$500,000, guys.
That's crazy.
Those ramifications would have you rethinking.
Someone's experienced this from the 816. I injected acid once. It was a trip.
Wow.
Yeah, I think different type of. I think that would be. I think if that kind of asked it just a little bit different.
Someone said the same person said Bink can relate.
Did you tried this way back in your heyday when you were playing football at Pitt State?
Not with the injections.
You weren't injecting yourself with anything?
I never did any injections.
Oh, I think you said not only injections.
I did take that stuff McGuire took.
Wait a second.
Because it was legal at GNC, the stuff McGuire took.
Someone says they would do injections if it didn't have to work out. I think this guy is going to have some major health problems here in about 15 or 20 years. Mm-hmm. You see what they've said? They said bone degrading of bones, blood vessel problems, necrosis, whatever the hell that means. I'm not a doctor. That sounds bad, you know? That sounds bad. Someone says, I'll just do steroids instead.
Yeah. Be safer with steroids, even though there's a lot of ramifications with that.
$500,000 too.
Yeah.
He's an influencer. He's just doing it for the money.
Give it to a school.
And he's going to, when all the influencer stuff is done for him, when he's old, even if he has this fake 8-pack and he starts to have health problems, nobody's going to remember who the hell this dude is. Nobody's going to care. And he's going to be
But he had a lot of likes and followers, right?
He did. Do it for the likes. Do it for the likes. That is the trash of the day. Up next, guys, let's get back into Chiefs-Broncos and who needs this one more, right? Everybody's favorite question. I think there's a case for both. And an early look at free agency, Jeremy Fowler did that, and there's one Chiefs player on the list that might surprise you.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Danan Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danan Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, one member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first TD score wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
It's Thirsty Thursday at Hy-Vee. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
The Chiefs have been scoring a ton of points lately, and that means I'm saving a ton of money at Hy-Vee. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs because I score big fuel savings when I shop Hy-Vee the day after any Chiefs game. Win or lose, I'll earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents a gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. So the more we score, the more I save, only for my friends at Hy-Vee.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey, it's Brian Balding here. Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done. Makita tools at the Home Depot are built with precision. Without shortcuts, Makita delivers results that reward hard work. Year after year, designed for the toughest jobs. It's a choice for pros who invest in performance, not just tools. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best, available at the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at Depend.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. One quick thing, non-Chiefs related during the commercial break. Saw this come across. The College Football Playoff will have a new chairman as the Baylor Athletic Director, Mack Rhodes, is stepping down from both the role as Baylor Athletic Director and College Football Playoff Chairman. There is an investigation happening for an incident that occurred at Baylor involving him or under his watch. So he's done at Baylor, done as the College Football Playoff Chairman. The expectation is that Utah's AD, at least the Big 12 is recommending that Utah's AD, Mark Harlan, will be the replacement. So
not a good time for that to happen 2 weeks into it.
No, but just we were just talking college football playoff, and so there you go.
Not good for Mac. Finally get to be chairman. That's huge. You take care of your orders there. That's a big deal.
Well, take care of your orders at Baylor first. How about that? And then you'll be then you'll be good. All right, let's talk some Chiefs football. Chiefs Broncos Sunday 3:25 kickoff right here on 96.5 The Fan. And I was talking about, I know even the guys this morning were discussing this somewhat at a different angle, which was the idea of which team has a little bit more pressure. I think Dusty was talking about player-wise Patrick Mahomes. I want to talk team, and to me, you can make a case for both, but I look at it as, is this a standings argument or kind of the middle edge and dethroning the Chiefs? Because I think you could argue the Broncos do have more pressure than the Chiefs. Yes, Kansas City loses this game, and you look at the division, and it becomes nearly impossible. And the Chiefs are 5-5, and the playoff path gets very challenging in what they have to do down the stretch. But on the same side, the Broncos, you've been owned by Kansas City for a decade. You have a chance here to get to 9 wins, eliminate Kansas City, to me, validate in a way your season you're having, and show that, no, we're the new kings of the AFC West kind of deal. And if you don't, there's pressure. If you don't, then everybody's going to say, same thing. Broncos Chargers going to choke this away. Here comes Kansas City, yada, yada, yada. I think there's pressure with that, Bink. Like, the Broncos are making the playoffs no matter what happens on Sunday. That's not the issue. This is not a who needs it for the playoffs more. I'm saying there's a psyche to it. There's dethroning the champs kind of element to it if you win on Sunday.
Yeah, it should be that way. And you heard Nick Benito speak, and the fact we played earlier about knocking off the Kings of the division. Yeah, they should have that mindset about stopping the Chiefs, and it's been embarrassing for the Broncos. What was a great rivalry? I know they've been better lately, but they did a field goal block last year. Then, of course, they ran up the score when the Chiefs didn't play any starters that last week of the season. But the Chiefs 17-3 against the Broncos in the last decade. And, of course, there was that nice 16-game run where the Chiefs beat them. That's just embarrassing. Like, if you had one team beat you 16 straight times, that's embarrassing. And they have been great against them. They were close last year at Arrowhead Stadium. I give them that. Came down to a field goal, but they did lose the game. But they have a team win your division 9 straight times. That's incredibly embarrassing. And when you get that shot, you get that golden opportunity to go out there and have a chance to knock them off and punch them out. Knock them out. Again, so many teams take swings, but they don't knock them out. And that's been the thing. This is a chance for somebody at least to knock them out for the division, not the playoffs in the whole grand scheme of things, but a chance in the division to knock them off.
As I said, I think there's a couple ways to look at it, because I don't disagree with this text, 913-586-7965. As I acknowledge, I think if we just view it and you want to view it as who needs it more to make sure they have a chance to win the division, well, then there's no question. Obviously, there's more pressure on the Chiefs for that angle. I just think there's the other angle, which is what we were discussing, which is the mental side of it, and knowing that you've finally got over the hurdle, you've ended potentially a 9-year run and all of that. Now, if someone says, I disagree, Denver playing with house money, the Chiefs have to win the game or else their season is in jeopardy. Again, that I agree with that. I'm just viewing, I don't think it is just as simple as who needs it for the standings more. That's like the simple way to look at it, no question. I mean, same thing will apply next week against the Colts. Who needs the game more? It's not going to be Colts if we're just basing it off of standings. Once again, it'll be next week. If we're just saying it's about who needs it for the standings more, the answer will not be the Colts next week either. But I think in this particular circumstance for the Chiefs and the Broncos, there is a huge aspect to it that if Kansas City goes into your home, beats you, there's still the thought, I think, even in Denver, and there already is kind of that right this week, which is, all right, yeah, are we really better than them this year still? Is this the year that we actually overtake them? That's all I'm saying.
Well, they're still a bridesmaid in this division. They realize that. Yeah, this game is just as important to the Kansas City Chiefs as the Denver Broncos, but it's that golden opportunity right in front of them at their home stadium to go out and actually be able to seize this division. People go back and forth beginning of the year. Is it going to be the Chargers, the Broncos, or the Chiefs? Well, it's been the Chiefs 9 straight years, 7 straight AFC title games. This is an all-important opportunity for the Denver Broncos to seize what's in front of them, which is beating the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's embarrassing what they've done to them. And you know what? I'll give Denver credit in this. Their mindset, like Buffalo. Buffalo's roster was built to beat the Chiefs. Their first 5 draft picks were on the defense. And they go out and get Bosa to help stop Mahomes and be able to put pressure on Mahomes. So Buffalo kind of built things the right way. Well, Denver's doing it that way more so than anybody else in the division. The Chargers, the Raiders, Denver's mindset, when you look at their draft, look at the things they made, the positions they've made by getting free agents, it's to stop the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the right mindset to have. It's the same mindset the Chiefs had to knock off New England. They were tired of New England kind of running this dynasty, running the AFC. Forget about the division. Who's better in the AFC? Denver needs to worry about the division first and then the AFC. Buffalo said, you know what? We're not worried about the division. We want to stop the Kansas City Chiefs. And now there's New England. It's a real problem for the Buffalo Bills. But the Chiefs saw one thing. It wasn't Denver, wasn't the Raiders, wasn't the Chargers. Get through New England. So who's one guy that stopped an undefeated New England team in the Super Bowl? Steve Spagnuolo. Enter Steve Spagnuolo to the Chiefs defensive coordinator, because they knew they had the draft and they had to stop the New England Patriots. And I'll give Denver's mindset is the Kansas City Chiefs, all Kansas City Chiefs, and that's the mindset they should have.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, yeah, if you're the Denver Broncos, everybody, that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody knows what's at stake. I mean, you can. I don't think the Chargers will end up catching the Broncos. So to me, if the Broncos win this game, they win this division. And that's there's pressure with that, is all I'm saying. Like, as much as it is for Kansas City, there is pressure with you being, to a certain extent, expected to finally get over the hump. Now, they're underdogs. It's like they can't talk themselves into the playing the card of nobody respects us if they want to play that inside the locker
Chiefs
room.
did against the Ravens.
Yeah, like you can definitely go with that angle if you're the Broncos. I mean, they are literally underdogs in the game. They are 3.5-point underdogs at home to a Chiefs team that has 5 wins. They're sitting there with 8. So they can definitely use that, hey, they're not taking us seriously. Even though the Chiefs are, but you know how that goes. People will take any national narrative and spin it and use it as fuel.
The Chiefs are top of mind, and they know that. The ratings came out earlier showing you 3 of the top 5 highest rated games this year. 55 of the top 60 were NFL games, were live football games. But the mindset is the Chiefs were 3 of the top 5. Why is that? Not everybody loves the Chiefs. They love to see the Chiefs lose. The Chiefs have gotten up to this pedestal now where people want to see the Chiefs either win or lose. And there's a lot of people want to see them lose. I get that. But the bottom line is the Chiefs are in everybody's conscious. The Chiefs are in everybody's minds. You're not 3 of the top 5 highest rated games if people aren't thinking Kansas City Chiefs. And you know what? Coming up Thanksgiving, that Dallas and Kansas City game will go to the top.
It'll set a record, yeah.
So the Chiefs will be 4 of the top 5 watch games in the National Football League this year because the Chiefs are top of mind, and they should be, and Denver is treating it as such.
All right, let's pivot a little bit to looking ahead of the offseason. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN put out his early free agent rankings, and this will get us into a conversation about the secondary and as it relates to this Sunday and a player that I think is having a better year than people realize. But so he came out with his early free agent rankings, and if you're just wondering, number 1 on the list, you're probably not surprised, Trey Hendrickson, right, of Cincinnati. Some other key names, Daniel Jones, although I think we all know he's probably about to get an extension with the Colts, but George Pickens is on the list, Breece Hall, Alec Pierce, let's see, and a couple other big-time names on the Mike Evans. You've got Jalen Watson at 15 on this list. So he will be 26 years old this offseason. He'll be 27 entering next season. I apologize. So he's 26 right now. He is currently making $3.4 million. Here is what Jeremy Fowler said. Watson isn't a marquee name, but is one that generated buzz when discussing free agents with teams. Quote, he'll have a nice market, an AFC executive said. He could surprise some people. And it goes on to say the Chiefs' extension candidate includes Trent McDuffie, which could force Watson to go elsewhere during the offseason. I've said this over and over about Jalen Watson. He has had a little bit of an injury history, but when he's on the field, I actually think he gets hated on a little too much from this fan base. I actually think he's been a pretty damn good corner for this football team when he's healthy. He's also had a really nice season. Certainly when the offseason happened, everybody just assumed Christian Fulton was going to automatically be the number 2 corner for this team. That hasn't been the case. It's a whole separate conversation, how he can't get on the field and everything, despite the contract they gave him. But Jalen Watson, barring something shocking, it does feel like this is his last year in Kansas City, Bink.
Well, I think so, and it goes back to, I know people like to talk about Britt Veach's draft picks a lot, which I think is silly because he's done a great job. But people bring up the draft picks, but they won't bring this one up. Jalen Watson was a 7th-round pick. So you have a 7th-round pick that's now coveted in the NFL, like Charvarius Ward was when he traded Parker Enger to the Cowboys for Charvarius Ward. These are all things the GM does. And the Chiefs have been able to supplant and replace different players, just like Snead. Everybody thought the world was going to collapse when L'Jarius Sneed left. And brought back a 3rd-round pick, which you look back now and a pick swap in the 7th, that looks like a great move right now by getting rid of State. But everybody wanted it. And Jalen Watson's the same deal. And again, this is why Noah Williams is drafted in the 4th round. The Chiefs have this unique ability to draft defensive backs, corners, from the mid-rounds to the late day, like Jalen Watson was. Like when they got Najee Johnson, they contributed in Super Bowl 57, 7th-round pick. They have this ability to do it, and I think a lot of it is, Brett Veach will scout these players. He'll give, Spags, a list of the players, which one kind of fits into your system the best, and you get input from the Chiefs coaching staff. But make no mistake about it, Jalen Watson, that was a 7th-round pick that everybody's like, well, it was just a throw-in pick by the Chiefs. They don't view 7th-round picks like that. And you look at what has happened. Creed Humphrey wasn't even a first-round pick, and all of a sudden he's the highest-paid center in the NFL. Trey Smith, a 6th-round pick, and all of a sudden he's the highest-paid guard in the National Football League. So, yeah, when we look at the drafts, you make evaluations, it's guys like Jalen Watson that were 7th-round picks that come in and provide value, and this is what the Chiefs do. This is what the blueprint of what the Chiefs are and how they've been good is getting these late-round draft picks you're not paying a ton of money to that contribute greatly to the team that go on elsewhere, somewhere else. But I have full belief if Jalen Watson goes to another place. Not everybody's Trent McDuffie's a first-round pick, as a cornerback that comes in here. No, the Chiefs take mid-rounders and late-rounders and make them great diamonds in the rough of the National Football League. But Jalen Watson, last year was going to be that battle. Is it going to be Jalen or Joshua Williams? Both draft picks with the Chiefs. Who has the other hand? I thought maybe Joshua Williams, at first because he was playing just as good as Jalen Watson. But it is totally different now. Jalen Watson has been fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds like executives around the league believe we're going to be one of those players where you get to the second day of free agency or something, and you're like, we're all like, wow, I can't believe, good for him, great contract. Kind of like the Turk Warden thing. And obviously the Chiefs are missing Turk Warden. Now, not for that dollar amount that he got paid in Carolina, but certainly he could have helped his team. But the point was we were all shocked to see the dollar amount Turk Warden got. Feels like that's what's about to happen for Jalen Watson, where fans are going to look at it and say, I can't believe X team gave him 3 years, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's kind of where it's heading. And if that's the case, then he's probably not back. Now, someone on the text line asked, hey, well, what if they can't get a deal done with Trent McDuffie? Remember, that if they couldn't get a deal done with McDuffie, they could still tag him. So, like, Trent McDuffie, there's a lot of scenarios, of course. If 2 first-round picks are on the table like Sauce Gardner, then I'm willing to trade him, no matter how great I think Trent McDuffie is, and I think he's great. I would prefer them to sign him to an extension. But if there was actually an offer similar to the Sauce Gardner offer out there, you would definitely have to consider that. So I don't think the Trent McDuffie thing will change the Jalen Watson thing personally. Like, I think if Jalen Watson's going to get the kind of money people are discussing, then most likely he's gone no matter what path, whatever scenario. Now, I think the Chiefs will be drafting a corner in the first 3 or 4 rounds next year. I know you guys did your first mock draft. I was giving you a hard time yesterday about
corner right there, number 2 pick.
Yeah, you guys had a corner in the 2nd round pick. You took a defensive lineman in the 1st, and I think they should go defensive line in the 1st round. But it's kind of interesting. What about these other names? The other name that stood out on the list, only because his name came up in Kansas City last week as a trade target. So on the early free agent ranking from Jeremy Fowler, number 22 is Boye Mafe, the edge from Seattle. We all know the report came out that the Chiefs thought the deal was almost done with Seattle. And once again, at the deadline, they don't make a move for a defensive player. But his contract's up. He'll be 27 entering next year. He's had a disappointing year so far this year. They're just not using him all that much.
He's not starting.
His numbers are down 1 sack compared to 15 during his first 3 seasons. But that's a name to watch. The fact that I know the Chiefs were willing to trade for him in March, that'll be, plenty of time to talk about it. But like, that was a name that stood out on this list because we know the Chiefs clearly had interest.
If there's a name on the radar and they're showing interest, that interest will still be there because it's their guys. Their type of guys that they can come in here and bring the system. That's kind of what the Chiefs do, the MO. I'm not shocked they tried to trade Seattle because Seattle's been a very good trade partner with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, I will say
previously,
somebody that is coming along here, and maybe he's been even better than we realized, is Noah Williams. I think we've all watched him play and been really impressed for a rookie. He's picked things up quickly. Trent McDuffie the other day was very complimentary of Noah Williams, how smart he is. He's getting better. I think we all kind of would like to see him on the field a bit more. Some of it is also Jalen Watson's playing so well. But Noah Williams, I did not realize to this extent how dominant he's been. This is some numbers. Now, they come from PFF, but these are not grades. So this is why I'm okay bringing it up, because these are not PFF grades. These are just actual facts that PFF happens to have, okay? This is where Noah Williams ranks among corners. He is right at the top of the list in lockdown percentage. So this basically, how well you prevent a receiver from getting open, right? Duh. their criteria goes on to say it excludes plays where the defender intentionally gives up space to protect like the first down marker, okay? So Noah Williams, now there's only 112 coverage snaps, so he's way lower than some of these other guys, because Trent McDuffie's on this list too. But 34 lockdown opportunities and 112 coverage snaps. 22 times he's locked down his receiver. That's 64.7. The only players, two of them, with a better lockdown corner percentage in football this year. Tariq Woolen, the talented corner, who's also a free agent, by the way, at the end of the year, for Seattle. And Sauce Gardner, who we just talked about, who's obviously viewed as one of the best. He has 73%. Now, Trent McDuffie's on this list as well. 286 coverage snaps, 95 lockdown opportunities, 56 lockdowns. That's 58.9%. That puts him still in the top 8 in the NFL. I guess what I'm saying is no one's been better than we even thought. And I would like to see what happens, whether it's in the future, next year, which is going to have to happen, or even later this year if he continues to get more opportunities. Does he get exposed or does he keep doing this? Because he's got the third best lockdown percentage of any corner in football.
Shameless plug. You know, a lot of people give me crap about the draft and stuff. Noah Williams is one of our favorite. We even brought this head coach on, Kevin Wilcox from Cal, to talk about him because there's a rhyme or reason why the Chiefs draft people. He did lead the nation in interceptions last year. The guy's a ball hawk. He played exceptionally well, and one of the knocks, can he tackle? Well, his coach came on and said, no, he's one of the best tacklers we have. We put him at the line. He can do everything that Spagnuolo wants in the system. Extremely physical corner, and you don't lead the country in interceptions by not knowing what you're doing. He even picked off Cam Ward last year when Miami played Cal. So the guy can do it.
Cam Ward looks really good.
The guy, and he hadn't so far.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
But no, Williams has been fantastic. He had 14 picks back in college, but he is a lockdown guy. And it's a rhyme and reason why the Chiefs keep throwing darts at these corners, because this guy's going to be a star. In a couple of years, it's going to be, do you want to re-sign Noah Williams? That's going to be the big deal. Other teams are, like we talk about Jalen Watson being wanted, the way we talked about L'Jarius Sneed being wanted. Noah Williams is going to be a guy that you think, okay, the Chiefs going to pony up and pay Noah Williams, or does he hit free agency? Because that is a guy that will be coveted in the NFL.
But you listed off those names. I think they fit. This is where Trent McDuffie is different. So L'Jarius Sneed, really good corner. He's the type of corner you're fine with trading. Also the knee injury. But you have Charvarius Ward, as you brought up. Very nice corner. He is not Trent McDuffie. You know, this is why when people will talk this offseason about moving on from Trent McDuffie, the only way I'm interested in that is if I get 2 first-round picks like I did for Sauce Gardner if I'm the Chiefs. So I like the Colts got the Jets, got for Sauce Gardner. I'm just saying it's one thing. You're right about the track record of corners. The Chiefs have a good one. There's a difference in letting a guy like Sneed or Ward or Watson walk and letting Trent McDuffie go someplace else. There's a difference there.
And there should be money. Last year, the Chiefs were expecting $270 million would be the salary cap. It was actually $279. And if you remember when those figures came out, they paid Smith, right? So as soon as these numbers came out, all of a sudden Carl Loftus got his deal a couple of days later. So, yeah, the salary cap for the Chiefs, where's it going next year? Could it be $290? Could it be actually closer to $300?
Yeah, they're up against the cap. They got some issues there.
Well, the salary cap is going to go up. And the salary cap went about $10 million more than what the Chiefs were expecting. That's why guys got their contract extensions. But, yeah, Trent is definitely going to be there. Jalen Watson may not be a guy. It may be ponying up for an extension for Rashee Rice. Don't need to do it now, but he is eligible because he has 3 years of playing in the NFL.
Yeah, it's more of an offseason conversation for sure. But you're right, the cap will go up, but they're up against it. They got to redo some Mahomes situation. I think they got to do something with Chris Jones' number. Trent McDuffie is going to be a mega deal if they get it done. And they just also have a bunch of expiring contracts. So look,
they got Carl Loftus out of the way quick. That's helpful.
They did, and that contract I think will look fine as time goes on. I think it'll actually look pretty damn good as time goes on. But that's something to worry about, I know, in a couple months. But it is, I think, tighter than it has been in a while when it comes to how they're going to have to handle the offseason. Whether you buy into, look, they're not in step back mode, right? This is a dynasty. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got who knows how many more years with Andy Reid and all that. Like you're not taking step backs, but there is a point in time where financially there are consequences to operating. This is also why I think they didn't trade for anybody at the deadline, Bink. They need these draft picks because you need guys with control. You know what I mean? Like you've got to have some guys on this roster that you have on rookie contracts. Otherwise, with the amount of money they've spread around on some other deals or will have to spread around on deals, it's a problem.
And to their credit, the front office has been great. I mean, the draft has been great. I'll never forget, Super Bowl 57, Chiefs beat the Eagles. at the parade, Veach holds up the Lombardi, says this is what a rebuild looks like because those 7th-round picks. I mean, a 7th-round running back starting. He had Najee Johnson, 7th-round contributor.
I don't know if they'll ever have a draft like that again.
But what I'm saying is he supplanted through the draft. Like they were up against the cap, but they were able to do it by not paying players money by getting these 7th-round picks that contributed. Grabbing a Trey Smith in the 6th round helped the Chiefs financially because those players are much better. And even this year, if you would say, well, getting a left tackle at the end of the 1st round in Josh Simmons helps the Kansas City Chiefs going forward because you're not paying top 10 money for a guy like Josh Simmons because the front office has been great. And I'll give Rick Burkholder, the trainer, a lot of credit because Trey Smith was a guy that everybody else passed on, but the Chiefs that typically step back a little bit when it comes to injuries, they were willing to do it. And this year, Josh Simmons came in for a top 30 visit. They were willing to do it. Trust me, a lot of that came probably from Rick Burkholder giving the okay.
Coming up next, we'll get to what's trending. We'll talk more about what some of the top teams in the league have been doing that the Chiefs are in the bottom 5 in, plus all 32 right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Get ready, Missouri. Kickoff is near. The world's largest sports book is coming to your fingertips. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. With high and transparent app limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Start betting like a pro in Missouri on December 1st. Learn about your new bookie today at circasports.com. The world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports launches December 1st.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace. Just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too. For my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile. Thanks, Zoe. The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on Essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto-pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening, because health is a long game and it's yours to win. Now, here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi? Learn more at depend.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Number 1 on what's trending, the Chiefs back at practice again today. Yesterday, the practice report came out. A little surprising to see George Karlaftis pop up there. Limited in practice. We'll see where things are at. I don't think anybody should panic yet about his availability. Limited on a Wednesday. We'll see how things go today. Isaiah Pacheco did not practice. That's the one to really watch, I think. If he doesn't practice again today, then it's probably looking like a Kareem Hunt, Brashard Smith, and Clyde.
That's the question, I guess, for Friday, if Pacheco's on the injury list. The bad thing about Pacheco, it was DNP, did not practice. Limited practice, like, okay, sure, maybe there's a chance, limited. We'll see today. See if it's an LP.
Knee sprain.
If it's limited practice today, there is a chance, I would say, but probably not a very good chance. But Karlaftis, hopefully this is just, he's had the bye week to go, so hopefully things will change. They're going to need him to make Bo Nix's life uncomfortable a bit. That will be much needed for the Chiefs. Number 2, Thursday Night Football tonight, man. I know we have church on a little bit later, and I know you're a gambling man. Stay away from Thursdays and stay away from division games. Although it's supposed to be crappy weather.
I like the
so
under.
Maybe the
Under
very
43
good.
and a half.
The under is very appealing tonight. But Jets and Patriots, it's going to suck. But you know what? I'll watch it.
That's actually, I don't have much more to add. That's actually a great way to sum it up. It's going to probably suck, but I'm going to watch the game.
Courtesy of Dusty Bink, he asked me earlier. He said, ask him if you're going to be more locked into this Patriots-Jets game or Troy versus Old Dominion in college football tonight.
Oh, gosh.
I do like to go back and forth. I have enjoyed the MAC.
The Trojans versus the Monarchs tonight, boys.
That's not the MAC, though. We're talking Sun Belt there.
That's Vinny Pasquantino's Old Dominion bunch, right?
He went to Old Dominion, yeah.
No, I will only be watching Thursday night. I will watch Thursday Night Football. You know that.
Which one do you watch? Regular, or do you watch their new?
Just the normal Amazon
new enhanced.
Prime.
It's pretty cool.
The Prime Vision, I don't mess with
Prime
that.
Vision. It's actually pretty cool.
The normal Amazon Prime broadcast works for me, Big. By the way, the Patriots 12.5-point favorites. Elsewhere on what's trending, mentioned this news last half hour, but the College Football Playoff Committee is searching for a new committee chair. That is because Mack Rhodes, who is the Baylor athletic director, was also the chair of the College Football Playoff Committee. He's done. He's kicked off. He's going to be replaced because he is involved in some allegations at Baylor. It is still unclear according to some reports, who will fill the chair, although Yahoo Sports is reporting that the Big 12 is recommending that Utah AD Mark Harland will replace him on the committee.
Well, it sounds good. They're writing the teams out. 2 teams out. It would be Utah in that situation. They have to recuse themselves when you're talking about those teams.
Right.
Obviously, Kirby Hocutt could have been mentioned, but Texas Tech, right there in the playoffs. And I will say this about Mac. Don't forget, that's a former AD at Mizzou. Before he left the Baylor. Yeah, a little back was at Missouri.
That is true.
Also, what's trending, Gold, if I can pull this up because my computer's
Else,
no, but Disney and Google, Disney and Google remain at an impasse of restoring ESPN. I will say this. I've had this happen, too, with another provider. It does suck. ESPN, ABC, and other networks on YouTube TV. Now, 14 days, the longest blackout Disney has faced with this YouTube situation. The Spectrum deal 2 years ago went about 10 days. So this is already at 14 days.
I remember when that happened. Bink was freaking out.
I was pissed.
You invited us out to a local bar to watch games with you because you were
nachos,
upset.
beer. It didn't suck, so don't feel bad for me there. But I will say this. $20 gift certificate you get back, but you got to go do the legwork for it. Come on, man. If people aren't just switching after this, I don't know what you're doing.
I'm not switching.
You're not switching?
Not yet. I like YouTube TV, but I already did my rant the other day about the bill credit having to opt in. People thought I was a little off base. They said it's not that much work. My point was...
Are you still able to use ESPN Plus?
Yeah, I have ESPN Plus through another thing.
Okay.
But my whole thing was I shouldn't have to go and opt in. It's the principle of it. It's not that it takes 20 minutes to opt in. It's the fact that they should just automatically give me the credit. I know why they didn't want to do it. But no, I'm not going to leave YouTube TV because I actually think it is the best of those streaming platforms. But this is frustrating. The consumer once again gets screwed over. By the way, Disney is losing $4 million a day, according to estimates.
Yeah, they were ready for football season. They go and do this, but I had another alternative, and I had this problem with the second largest cable company in the country 2 years ago, but they quickly resolved the issue, and they made it much, much, much better. But I will say this. These rebates they're asking people to do, that's just money in the bank. Just like when you give gift cards at Christmas, you may spend $100 on them or something. People aren't going to use them all. They may use 90 of it or whatever. These companies make so much money back because nobody else goes and signs up for it because you got to go do the
there will
legwork.
be a lot of people that never claim their $20 credit. That's what they're hoping.
It feels like you're passionate about this topic, Bink.
Very much so.
I mean, right during football, because this happened right before a game. Right before the Missouri. Pregame was on, then boom, the game started, the blackout.
Yeah, these disputes never happen in July.
No.
They never happen.
Well,
they never happen in June or July. It's weird how that.
55 of the top 60, 55 of the top 60 viewed games are NFL games. That shows you exactly why this is happening. I will say this, though. With College Game Day, they found a way to do it. Like ESPN app still had it. Free to people. The ESPN website.
Monday Night Football, I just go indoor antenna for ABC, and that's how I get it.
It's easy to do. Yeah, very easy to do.
Because they simulcast.
But ABC, I mean, we can talk about Disney and ESPN and all that. ABC's been the one that have the market on college football. They've been the top rated. They have 3 of them. They go 11, 2:30, and 6:30. But those have been the best games of the weekend. ABC is like killing it in college football ratings, but obviously part of Disney and ESPN and all that. That's where rabbit ears would come in handy because ABC has been destroying things.
Yeah, earlier today you said Mickey Mouse can kick rocks. You said you were done with all the Disney characters. You said you're not going to watch any Disney movies.
I was a fan of them before.
He said there's no more Disney movies in his household until this is resolved.
Well, I did. We've been.
He's you
hate Disney, Bink. I forgot about that.
I'm a big fan of Mickey Mouse and all that crap.
Lastly, by the way, on what's trending, Major League Baseball, Cy Young Award winners were announced. Paul Skeens, no surprise on the NL side. Also, Tarek Skubal goes back-to-back on the AL side, gets the Cy Young as Major League Baseball takes way too long to announce their awards for a season that ended a long time ago.
And they're dragging it out because the MVP, I think, is the 13th or 14th?
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk some fantasy football at 12:30 with Paul Charchian, a fantasy football Hall of Famer. He'll give us some thoughts, as he does each and every week, on A.J. Brown and how fantasy managers should handle that. What do you do with tonight's Thursday Night Football matchup? Also, the running back situation in New England with Ramondre Stevenson out. So all that, if you're getting set, we're a couple weeks away from fantasy football playoffs, man. I'm on the fence in all 4 leagues, man. It's not good. We are not locked into a spot for sure in any of them. It is not looking good. We're going to have to win every week here.
The Patriots win the East?
Yes, I do believe that. All right, let's get back into the Chiefs here a little bit. And you mentioned Isaiah Pacheco during What's Trending, and he is not practicing yesterday. We'll see if he practices today. And we'll probably discuss it more tomorrow. Who gets the nod? Is it more Brashard Smith other than Kareem Hunt? Is it Elijah Mitchell activated for the first time all year? Is it just Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the random 2 carries? That's something we can get into. However, I think one thing that impacts the run game and therefore also can help set up the passing game, we asked Danan Hughes about that, is the fact that the Chiefs just do not go under center all that often. And Will Compton put out some numbers, and I don't think this is a coincidence. And let me be clear, I am not saying the Chiefs need to be under center as much as the Seattle Seahawks or the LA Rams. However, there can be a balance, and I think Danan even agreed with this. So the top 5 teams that go under center in football in 2025, number 1, Seattle, 70% of the time. Now, that's their system. Sam Darnold's the quarterback. Again, that's a very high percentage. I never want that percentage with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. The Rams, 69%. Then there's a drop off the Lions, 52%. Bills, 51%. Patriots, 47%. Those are all 5 Super Bowl contenders. Some of the 5 best teams in football.
I'm shocked
4 of the
the
best
Bills
teams.
would be that high, to be honest with
4
you.
of the 5 best teams in football, yeah. Bottom 5. This is the company the Chiefs are in. Saints, 18% of the time. Bengals, 15% of the time. Chiefs, 11%. Commanders, 7%. Falcons, 6% of the time. They go out of pistol a ton, but still, you got Robinson and Algier. I don't know why they're only going under center 6% of the time. The Falcons aren't very good. The Chiefs are at 11. I just need some balance a little. I don't need them to go from 11 to 51%. I don't even need them to go to 11 to where the Patriots are at 47%. Can we go to 11 to 33%, to 35%? I think that is part of hopefully what they looked at during the bye week. Do you go under center more? I think they run more effectively when they do that, especially when it's Kareem Hunt and not Isaiah Pacheco. I think in the goal line situation, we all know what happened in Buffalo. 1st and goal, right there. They go out of shotgun. To the left of Mahomes is Kareem Hunt. You're asking him to go get a yard when he's starting 5 yards in the backfield. Also, it helps set up play action and get guys involved. So this is an area that I would love for them to do more, and they're in bad company in the bottom 5 there.
No, they are, but it works for them. And I'll say this. The Chiefs are number 2 in the NFL in points per drive, meaning they score 2.83 points every time that offense is on the field. That's not Pro Football Focus. That's actual fact of when the Chiefs offense is out there. And it's been working for them. I mean, 7 straight AFC title games, 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Their method is working. I think it's more comfortable for Mahomes to play, out of the shotgun, to have the angles. But there's a couple things other too, and I agree with you. You would like to see it increase, but you don't want to become predictable. Meaning, you don't want to go under center, and then every time you do, you turn around.
When you argue they are more predictable right now, they're only going under center 11% of the time.
Yeah, and I'm curious that 11% when it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1.
I don't have that breakdown
because that's got to be in there because they don't do the tush push. They use Kareem Hunt because he's having just about as much success statistically when he's running the ball. But you don't want to become predictable because when you're a center, you don't want to become a tell where you're all of a sudden running all the time. So you definitely you have to trust your line because you mentioned the top 5. Those are all very good offensive line, including Denver's might be the best at this point. So you really have to trust your line to give the protection for the quarterback. So there's 2 things. It's how your line's playing, and clearly if the line starts gelling here through the second half of the season here and you get more consistency on the line, that helps as far as being able to go under center, but you got to trust the running game as well. And we know the running game for the Chiefs is pretty limited at this point.
Yeah, there's an element of a little bit of surprise, if you will, of running the football and in the play action game as well. And I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more balance there. I think that's something to look at moving forward. And Dan Orlovsky is who kind of put these numbers out, and I think his exact verbiage on it was, you look at this, nobody is saying that the Falcons would automatically be a playoff team if they were doing it more than 6%, or the Chiefs would have 4 more wins if they didn't do it only 11%. However, 5 playoff teams basically versus 4 non-playoff. The Chiefs right now are not a playoff team, so 5 playoff teams versus 5 non-playoff teams. That's pretty telling.
It's pretty telling, but also look at the running game and look at how the line's been playing. And yes, the Chiefs have 2 of the highest paid linemen at their positions in the NFL, but Mahomes was hit 14 times in Buffalo. That was a concern.
Do you think Josh Simmons also, let's say Josh Simmons is back on Sunday. We don't know. He did practice.
Certainly helps.
He did practice, so I think there's clearly a chance that he plays and starts. I don't know if we'll get that answer until Sunday, or Adam Schefter tweets something Saturday afternoon or Saturday at midnight or whatever he does. If Josh Simmons is in there, do you think it's more likely they
I think it's more likely when you get some continuity with your offensive line. Yeah. Certainly that helps that factor. And then your running backs, their preference. Is it better doing it from the shotgun, or we line up, and we're behind the center, but you better start passing out of that a lot too, not to give a tell.
I find it hard to believe. Obviously, I've never asked him, but I would find it hard to believe that Kareem Hunt would prefer to get the ball in shotgun, out of shotgun, than when Mahomes is under center, whether it's single back or whatever, right?
He gets a lot of shorty yardage stuff from shotgun.
Well, they're only as we just said, they only go under center 11% of the time. So yes, but I'm saying I maybe I'm way off. I feel like there's no way Kareem Hunt just prefers shotgun over what you know what I mean?
I don't think this automatically just stop starting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, big difference.
He's not he doesn't have the burst at this point in time in his career. You're telling me that it's easier for him to get a yard when he's 5 yards back?
I'm just saying they got to be careful how they do it. They better start passing out of that, because the minute you start going up the center, then all of a sudden you're turning and handing it off. It's
well, that's why you do play action off of it. Anyway, in 15 minutes we'll talk some fantasy football. Let's get to it. We do this a couple times a week, a little all 32 Bink. I want to get to something that I don't know if it's been discussed enough around the league. This week-to-week issue in San Francisco, while Kyle Shanahan continues to do a great job and they're winning games and they're going to be a playoff team, it looks like, Brock Purdy, this Brock Purdy situation is a mess. He gets the mega contract in the offseason. All right, a lot of people questioned it, but okay. He has been week-to-week all year, for the last month, in fact, week-to-week. Mac Jones. Yesterday, Brock Purdy limited in practice again. He's dealing with turf toe. It's very painful. It can flare up, as he's even said publicly. Like, it's true. One morning he's fine. The next morning it hurts like hell. Joe Burrow, of course, had turf toe required surgery. Brock Purdy, they've just been kind of slow playing this thing. Mac Jones done a really nice job, but it's weird to me how little this has been discussed, I feel like, nationally. This is a quarterback that just got paid big-time money, and he basically every week is a wild card whether he's going to play. And has he played in more than 2 games this year?
That made a huge difference who they re-signed, because they had to pay they missed their window when you're paying 7th round money for Brock Purdy, give him all the money, and all of a sudden you can't have all the nice things like Debo and other things with that team, and you have to get Chiefs former wide receivers as your wide receiver group.
He's played in 2 games.
Yeah.
It is November 13th. He's played in 2 games. In the offseason, he got a 5-year, $265 million contract with $182 million guaranteed, and the dude's played 2 games.
And Mac Jones is not a huge step back, which is an indictment.
Yeah, Mac Jones earned himself some money.
Completely.
You want me to go next? My all 32 is A.J. Brown. I don't know if you've heard his comments recently on the Twitch stream with the basically said if you're
playing Madden, I guess.
Yeah, he was like, if you got me in fantasy, then cut me.
Here it is.
And you might get 200. Trust. Whenever y'all play us, I promise you, you might get 200. And I ain't even trolling.
Hey. If you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me.
If you got me in fantasy, then get rid of me. I mean,
that's true.
He probably shouldn't be talking that way. However, I mean, his frustration, I think it's warranted. I think, he's not getting the ball as much as he should be. He's still in his prime, all of this stuff. And it goes back to, I think you said last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, Gold, you're like, he obviously has played well in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts, but there's times when you watch him play and it's like, I don't understand it. And when you got a talent like Devontae Smith, when you've got a talent like A.J. Brown, I think they could be so much even better than what they are. And I know now that Saquon, I think Bink, you mentioned this, Saquon's not having that good of a season, only 14th in rushing yards, where he's 8th in carries. They're having a bit of an issue on offense, and I think it's not A.J. Brown's fault. Where, look, I know that wide receivers can be divas, but I understand the frustration. I don't think he's necessarily wrong about being frustrated or anything like that.
What's his contract situation? Is he an off-season trade candidate? Is that going to happen?
Well, his name came up during the deadline,
right.
but they decided not to trade him.
He has a 3-year, $96 million. Next year he'll be 29. Cap hit $23 million. There's an out after that. He's under contract all the way through 2029.
Yeah,
man. All right. Well,
is he wrong? Do I agree with everything he said? Yes. I mean, he is underutilized, but there's something you need to do. Not play this out in public.
Oh, I think the Eagles should definitely try. I think it's better. It's maybe one of those things, not that it's too far gone, but just better that both sides just they try to figure something out.
If he has these issues and you want to go talk to Jalen Hurts, you want to go talk to Nick Sirianni, hey, I need the ball more. I think I can help the team. That's the mindset. I can help the team.
But he's already done that, though. I think he's already kind of done that. Where now it's just too late.
But when you play it out in public, when you play it out when you're playing
Sure, it
Madden,
doesn't look great.
No, because your team won the Super Bowl. Your team is one of the best teams.
He's
if
been
not
honest
the best
about
team
that,
in the
though,
NFL.
Bink.
But they're winning, though. They're not losing. If they were just
Totally.
2 wins, different deal.
So I'm not. I guess maybe it sounds like I'm defending him. All I'll say is, he at least has been like, normally you hear like players like, oh, all I care about is winning. That's all I care. And they may not always actually care about that. He has flat out said, the winning's great, but like, I want to have a big day. Like I want the ball. I want to be like, he's not shied away from that. Normally,
all that's fair, but it should be handled privately.
He should just be traded in the offseason.
Yeah, I
not to Buffalo, but somewhere. Bink, what do you got? All 32.
These Ravens, man. Are you buying? I mean, all year people are talking about the odds. I know you like to gamble. Did you buy into the Ravens still coming back and win the division? They just had one win. They were 1-5. You bought it?
They are going to win the division, yes.
And they're healthy now. They're playing much different. They've shored up a lot of things on their defense. And I'll say this about the Ravens. Only 4 teams in the history of the NFL have been 1-5 and made the playoffs, including the Kansas City Chiefs, who were in that mix of teams to do it. Yeah, it was hard to believe in the Ravens doing this. But, man, I'm telling you, they still got 2 games against Pittsburgh this year. Pittsburgh's only 1 game up on them in the division. And Baltimore's mindset will be this division title, and that's it. It's not about the wild card, because the wild card's already bad for them, because they have a head-to-head loss against the Bills. They've already got that head-to-head loss against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we talk about Jacksonville being that thorn in the side. The Chiefs, they have that upper hand on the Chiefs because they beat them head-to-head. That's a problem. Baltimore's in a worse situation with Buffalo and Kansas City, especially if Buffalo or Kansas City doesn't win the division, then all of a sudden they're wild card teams. So they have to win the division going forward. But yes, I do believe when it's all said and done, they will be division champs. I think that's the best team in the division. I do like Pittsburgh, not to do anything great, go to the Super Bowl or anything, but Mike Tomlin's shown consistency in what he does. But this year, I think that run ends because I think Baltimore ends up coming back.
I do think the Ravens end up winning the AFC North. I think earlier in the week we were having the conversation, our Super Bowl contenders, and it started because I said, are the Ravens back to being Super Bowl contenders? I actually think they are. Now, their defense is brutal. That's the struggle. But if you win your division, and whoever wins the AFC North is the 4 seed. We all agree, right? Like the winner of that division is going to be the 4 seed.
Yeah,
so they're going to play a 5 seed, which could be a bunch of different teams. 5 seed could be Buffalo or New England, whoever doesn't win the East. It could be Kansas City, I guess, as well. It could be the Broncos. I mean, there's a ton of scenarios. The only team that I feel confident that it's not going to be going to the AFC North winner as the 5 seed is the Colts. The Colts are going to win the AFC South. Don't you guys agree at this point?
100%.
So other than that, I think I can make a case for about 7 other teams that could go to Baltimore or Pittsburgh wild card weekend 5-4 matchup.
Yeah. Well, call me one of those guys that really wants to see the Colts. I know the record. I know they're going to be in it. Yes, they're steaming towards the number one seed, but I'm proof in the pudding, man. I want to see that Colts-Chiefs game to determine if the Colts are really good or they a byproduct of playing bad teams. Because lately, they played 2 bad teams in a row. They lost one of them. And Daniel Jones has turned the ball over 7 times.
Even more reason why the Chiefs got to have this one on Sunday, though.
So yeah,
because you don't want to be 5-5 going to a game hosting the Colts. And then we think this week is must win, and it is for the division. Next week is must win for like playoffs.
This 2-game stretch is by far the most important for the Chiefs because then all of a sudden you got Dallas. Then you have a mini bye before December where it's Houston at home, Chargers at home, road games against Tennessee, Broncos at home, road trip at Vegas. It is very comfortable for the Kansas City Chiefs. But these 2 games right in front of them, narrative games.
Well, this is one of those things that we'll talk more about next week, I'm sure.
Drew's got a smirk on his face. This means we're about to get a Chiefs missing the playoffs in Cincinnati collaboration here.
No. But how much does I'm curious for Bink because I think I've already asked you and Cody this, Gold, but how much does Lou Anarumo scare you a little bit?
A lot, and I think that's one thing when you talk about the Colts.
Oh, the DC that the DC that Cincinnati fired because their defense wasn't good, and then now he's on the Colts and they have a really good defense, and Cincinnati still doesn't.
The one guy that has a game plan for nobody else, seemingly, but then all of a sudden against Patrick Mahomes, he makes him look like a regular old dude.
We can talk about Daniel Jones, whether we believe in him or not, how stupid it was for 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, but Jonathan Taylor, stud. Tyler Warren, stud. And then Lou Anarumo that knows how to play the Chiefs with the Colts. That, I think, is the biggest X factor with the Chiefs and Colts.
Yeah, we can talk about it next week.
That's a huge, huge difference.
We can. Why would they ever fire him in Cincinnati? You know?
I know their
it's
defense
crazy, isn't it?
Well, they had to explore their problems.
But why did the defense
by
get
the
worse,
way,
Drew? We said this in preseason. Why did it get worse? It got worse, man.
Probably because they drafted three defensive players in the first 2 rounds, and none of them have been very good.
We told you this if you listen to Character Concerns.
The GM should go yesterday. Should have been gone yesterday. Duke Tobin.
And Trey Hendrickson's not happy, and I don't think he ever will be.
He also was injured.
I know that.
Duke Tobin. By the way, that Duke Tobin just sounds like a dude like just can't like.
And why do they
not a smart decision making?
Why do they have to cross a real street with the crossing guard to go to practice?
Well, because they're in smack dab downtown Cincinnati, unlike a lot of other places.
They have a crossing guard. Will they borrow him from a school?
I don't know.
That is all 32.
Help middle school to go help the Bagels?
Up next, let's talk some fantasy football. Paul Charchian's the Fantasy Football Hall of Famer. He joins us each and every Thursday. We'll find out who to start, a tricky matchup maybe for Mahomes on the fantasy end going up against the Broncos defense, and the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Chris Jones. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. When you buy an engagement ring or fine jewelry gift from Shane Company, you get more than what you paid for. Our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. It covers everything. There's no fine print. You'll get unlimited cleanings, resizings, and repairs. Plus, it even protects your engagement ring's center stone. We stand behind the quality of our jewelry, and that's our gift to you this holiday. Peace of mind. Because a friend knows the best things in life are free. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with fast, reliable service 24/7, even weekends and holidays. Already invested in repairs? Save up to $4,500 on a new HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Cody and Gold here on a Thursday. Alex Gold, Drew Nixon producing the show. Jay Binkley in for Cody today. We will get to the random question of the day here in about 15 minutes or so as well. But it is time to talk a little fantasy football with the Fantasy Football Hall of Famer, Paul Charchian, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views. Charch, good to have you on the show, my man. People need some help. And by people, I mean me, and I mean a lot of our listeners a couple weeks away from playoffs. And I am not currently in a playoff spot in any of my leagues. We're on the fence. We're right there on the edge. We need some help. Yeah, it's not been a good year so far.
And welcome back. And hi, Jay.
Hello, Charch.
Nice to talk to you again. I see, so Cody is out. Is it, do I understand correctly that it's a hernia?
Hernia surgery. He'll be back Wednesday, yes.
Soft.
Wow. That is a stirring tribute to Dwayne Bowe by dropping his balls.
Paul Charchian. I like it. Well done. How about we talk about A.J. Brown? Because thinking of issues, we played the audio. Everybody's well aware of it by now. We discussed his contract and maybe he's an off-season trade candidate. What about fantasy football-wise? What do you do here? Because he was a top pick, I think, even for me in one of my leagues.
We've got a term. When you outright drop a big name, frustrating player, we call that the sabotage drop. The sabotage drop is the boldest of fantasy football moves, totally incompatible with the innate cowardice of 95% of fantasy managers. And this would be a sabotage drop. A.J. Brown is a huge name. And had you sabotage dropped A.J. Brown after week 1 when he had his 8-yard gain, you'd have been better off for it. And whoever picked up Brown would have been worse for it. And normally, I would say, be bold, let's drop A.J. Brown, let's take his advice. But here's the problem. Coming up the next 3 games, it's Lions, Cowboys, Bears. They rank 27th, 30th, and dead last in wide receiver fantasy points allowed. I got a Cowboys game looming. I can't drop A.J. Brown knowing he's a week away from playing the Cowboys. So I right now I'm saying we're not going to follow A.J. Brown's advice. We're going to hold. You might start him against the Lions. But let me ask you two this. Alex and Jay, do you believe at A.J. Brown's level, squeaky wheels usually get the grease?
Yes, but not this situation because they're still winning. And I think they'll point to the Super Bowl and winning record. So usually they get greased. But in this situation, I don't think he is.
7-2. Alex?
No, I think he's actually going to have a big game this weekend. And this is what happens. We start to talk about, dropping a player and all that. I actually think he absolutely is going to have a big game on Sunday. Or it's a Monday night, actually, Sunday night.
Sunday night, nationally televised game. Your offensive coordinator, Eagles offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, you're it's not the hot seat. The seat's literally on fire, and you're sitting in it just roasting. He's got to get the offense right. Yes, they are winning games, but it's obvious this offense is performing at a level that is a fraction of what it was last year. And remember, just 2 years ago, they had Brian Johnson as their offensive coordinator in Philadelphia for 1 year. That didn't work out. He's gone. And that's what Kevin Patullo is looking at if he doesn't get things back on track. And he's only got so many levers to pull. A.J. Brown's one of them. I think against a struggling Lions secondary, I think he's going to have a bounce back game. Lions, and if not, then Cowboys the week after. So I'm not following his advice. Normally, I don't let A.J. Brown really cater to my existence in any way and what he may want. So I'm not going to do it here either. I'm not listening to A.J. Brown.
Speaking of confusion, the Packers are extremely confusing, good or bad. Jordan Love struggling, but is he startable against the Giants?
Maybe if they paid him more, he'd be better.
Maybe. I think we all would.
A lot of things have gone wrong for Jordan Love. And I'm going to give you this sort of a fantasy spin that I think outlines part of the problem with Jordan Love. And you can tell me if you think it's just too fantasy-centric. We love touchdown. Going back 20 Jordan Love games to, which is, I think, October of last year, 20 games. He's thrown 23 touchdowns. To put it, that's, he's 1.1 touchdowns per game. That is Trevor Lawrence. That is Mac Jones. Jordan Love's the second highest paid quarterback in the league. I mean, at some point, this is not about just rounding out my fantasy box score. You're an NFL team. You need touchdowns, and you've got to be passing for some of them. As great as the running game for Green Bay can be, your quarterback can't be throwing a touchdown a game. That is not success in the NFL. And yes, there are excuses to be made for Jordan Love, but I'm kind of tired of it. I mean, last year it was injuries at wide receiver. It was his groin injury. This year it's injuries at wide receiver. Now he's got an injury at tight end. He's got now a center. Elton Jenkins just got knocked out. I mean, there are excuses there, but great quarterbacks, especially ones making $55 million a year, have to be able to overcome some of that. And we are getting just bad play from Jordan Love right now. And with this Giants game coming up this week, the way you beat the Giants is you just run on them all day. So I don't even think the volume is going to be there for Love. I think the Packers are just going to try to get Love on an efficient, low-volume game, rebuild some confidence, and let Josh Jacobs run him to victory.
We're talking to Paul Charchian here on 96.5 The Fan. As you know, huge game on Sunday afternoon, Chiefs-Broncos. This is one we've been discussing from a divisional perspective. Is clearly a must-win for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has been very, very good here this year. Fantasy football-wise, also been great. This is a very good Broncos defense, though. Is he still... I guess it depends on who your backup is, right? But is he still a guy you have to start?
Not quite. He's my quarterback 8, so maybe not. And, the downside is significant. So first tell me this. How big is this game? Is this a must-win game?
Yes.
Because I think the 9-year run as AFC West champs is over if you lose.
Absolutely.
You say yes. Yep. A must-win game. And in as much as a Week 11 game can be, right, this is absolutely critical. No Patrick Surtain for the Broncos. But even in these last 2 games without Patrick Surtain, they haven't given up a passing touchdown. So they haven't missed him that much, but the real story is their pass rush is just so good. This team has 14 more sacks than the next closest team. The Broncos are on a historic pace for quarterback pressures. Their quarterback pressure rate is 43%, which is just staggering. And so far this year, Mahomes and your Chiefs are 1-3 when the opposing pressure rate is 25% or more. Again, they're coming in at 43%. So this is a tricky one. Sean Payton and Vance Joseph have crafted well against Mahomes. The 3 games that he's played over the last 2 years, he's only thrown 2 touchdowns in those games. So really, really tricky spot in what figures to be a low-scoring game. Let me ask you this. Is Isaiah Pacheco going to be able to return for this one?
Doesn't feel like it. Didn't practice yesterday. We'll find out here in a short while. Actually, I should check here to see if he's practicing today. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it right now. Unfortunately, so we'd love to have that. We'd love to have that back, and that is one of the ways you can. They're also a really good run defense, by the way. But if you're going to attack the Broncos one way, it is on the ground, and to a lesser degree with your tight ends, you can get a little bit of something done. So, maybe we're going to see a little more Travis Kelce than we have the past few weeks.
Charge teams that are bad against tight ends as far as fantasy football is concerned. Jags, Dolphins, Colts, but nobody as bad as the Cincinnati Bengals. Historically bad against tight ends. Is that a must start against the Bengals?
Cincinnati on pace to be the worst tight end defense in the history of the league.
That's awesome.
Alex and Jay, do you know the number for the perfect passer rating? Do you know the perfect passer rating number? And no shame if you don't.
158.3, isn't it?
That's right, 158.3. Here's the passer rating on balls thrown to tight ends against Cincinnati. 153. The Bengals are dead last with 12 tight end touchdowns allowed this year. Now, I know for a lot of your listeners, that it's hard to know if that's a lot or a little. This would be the most tight ends. They're on pace for the most tight end touchdowns allowed. They've given up 12 tight end touchdowns, as I mentioned, in 9 games. Most seasons, no team gives up 12 tight end touchdowns all year. And they've already given up 12 this season in 9 games. And where it gets really interesting is this week, and it's also annoying. They're playing the Steelers. So you're like, okay, Steelers tight ends. But the annoying part is they got 3 different tight ends. So you can't know for sure. Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, and the elephantine Darnell Washington. Somebody's going to get paid here. It's hard to know who because they divvy up those tight end usage almost 1/3. So it's a tricky spot. But all 3 of those guys potentially sitting on very good games.
All right, Thursday Night Football charge. Jets, Patriots, going to be maybe a little nasty weather-wise. Drake May, though, is the real deal. He's a co-favorite to win MVP right now. Certainly been very good fantasy football-wise. He's just a must-start every week now?
Every week, no matter what, and certainly against the Jets, no Quinnen Williams, no Sauce Gardner. This is a great opportunity for him. I'm going to give you 2 stats that highlight his great season. He's number 2 in completion percentage, which is awesome, but you can do that throwing dink and dunk underneath stuff like Tua is always great in completion percentage. But May is throwing the 2nd longest pass in the NFL, and he's 2nd best in completion percentage. Multiple touchdowns in 8 of the last 9 games, and he's doing it with an offensive line that is not good. May's absorbed the 2nd most sacks. And maybe because he got used to it, because when he was at North Carolina, he had a horrible offensive line that was getting him killed, and he just got accustomed to finding ways out of that situation. So no Sauce Gardner, no Quinnen Williams. He should have time in the pocket. He should have advantageous matchups downfield. Drake May is my number 1 ranked quarterback for this week.
Ramondre Stevenson ruled out. Patriots rookie running back Travion Henderson, great backfield he came out of, gets another start against a bad New York run defense, obviously completely opposite of the Patriots' best.
Exactly. It is a bad run defense. And did you guys see Travion Henderson had 2 breakaway runs last week? Did you guys see what he did on the 2nd breakaway run?
I did not, no.
So it's going to be like a 60-yard run. He's going down the sideline, and he's got so much space between him and the next closest defender. At about the 20-yard line, he turns and looks at his coaching staff to see if they want him to score or go down.
Yep.
And so he veers to the middle of the field to buy a little bit more time. He gets the score nod, and then he runs into the touchdown. Unbelievable. Travion Henderson, insanely fast on both of those breakaway runs. He hit 21 miles per hour. At the Jets defense, already bad. They traded away Quinnen Williams. They've allowed a touchdown and or 100 yards to opposing runners in 7 of 9 games. This is a great spot for Travion Henderson.
Last one for you, sticking with the running backs. Breece Hall, obviously the trade rumors at the deadline, including here in Kansas City, he ends up staying put. He's going up against a pretty darn good rush defense, though, tonight.
Jay alluded to this. It is awesome. This is the story nobody's telling about the Patriots. They've got Drake May, and that's awesome. They're the number 1 run defense in the NFL. No back has topped 53 yards.
It's by like 10 yards a game in it. I mean, that's how good they've been.
Yes. No runner has scored since week 3. They're giving up 3.2 yards per carry to opposing runners. Wow. That's insane. And the Patriots rank number 2 in yards before contact of Breece Hall. I mean, Jets they're 12.5-point underdogs. This thing could go against, not only are you facing the best run defense in the NFL, but the Jets could be behind by 2 scores early in this game, and Breece Hall could just be a non-factor here.
Last one, just from a texter. A couple people asked about Zay Flowers. Rachaad White or Flowers in flex, full point PPR?
Flowers has a brutal matchup. I don't love this one for the Ravens, and he always suffers from very inconsistent volume. That's the other part that's always problematic. Unfortunately, is he's got to make do with 6 targets a game, and he hasn't scored since the opener. So the way to we're just gonna low scoring game. Browns giving up. They're playing the Browns in Cleveland. Cleveland's giving up 13 points per game in home games. So, we're going to avoid the Zay Flowers if you've got other good options out there.
Good stuff. Good stuff as always from Charch. Appreciate it. There you go. Paul Charchian, the Fantasy Football Hall of Famer, the only Hall of Famer speaking on these airwaves today. That's for sure. Right? Have I missed anybody?
Nope.
I don't know who the Drive has coming on their show today. Otherwise, I think it's the only Hall of Famer that will be.
But that run defense, the Pats, is insane. By over 10 yards a game, that's how good they are between them and the Texans.
Coming up in 15 minutes, Josh Klingler, who will be on the sidelines in Denver. He will be joining us at 1 o'clock, normally on a Wednesday. We got him on a Thursday today. I want to get his perspective on the Chiefs heading into Denver. But in the meantime, it is time for...
Random Question.
Random Question of the Day brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit KCUrology.com today for you. Bink, Drew, the text line, 913-586-7965. I'll handle this one today. It's pretty simple. Are you in or are you out on this? This being Chick-fil-A is testing a chicken and waffle sandwich. And I must say, there is no way this is not going to be amazing. There's no way this thing's not going to be fire. They're testing it in Baltimore and San Antonio starting December 1st. It'll be available in original or spicy. I'll turn around the laptop. You can see the photo.
Wow.
You're telling me that they're going to screw this up? No chance.
In. Forget test markets.
I know.
Just do it.
I know they got to test it, but can we make it quick, please? Come on, San Antonio. Come on. Let's figure this thing out pretty quickly, Baltimore. This looks amazing. It looks like it's a waffle chicken, a couple of strips of bacon on the chicken. Oh, man. The breakfast sandwich.
Are you ready for me to say something totally un-American?
You can get the breakfast sandwich or just get the normal sandwich, but it's waffle. You don't like waffles, do you?
No, I love waffles, but chicken and waffles is overrated.
True. True.
Look, if I go to a breakfast spot, am I saying I'm ordering that every single time? Absolutely not. No. I sometimes just go with the classic. Give me some pancakes, some eggs, some bacon, and I'm happy. But a chicken and waffle sandwich and chicken and waffles at a fast food place, at Chick-fil-A, who we all know when it comes to fast food, they don't screw this thing up. It's going to be amazing.
Chicken and waffles. I remember Royal Spring Training is back in 2012, something like that. I don't know if this place is still there, but it's right outside of Phoenix there. And we went there. I went there with Vern and I think it was Roscoe's or something. And we had chicken and waffles for the first time. And once that one first time. I mean, it's been 13 more years since then of having chicken and waffles, and obviously Chick-fil-A having it. What a great combination. And Drew is 100% wrong with this take.
Text line split, though. Someone says smash. Someone else all over it. Someone else said plenty of places to do chicken and waffles. Don't need to go to Chick-fil-A. Sure, but by that logic, the same thing. Plenty of other places to get a hamburger. We still occasionally go to McDonald's.
Chicken sandwich.
The point is it's something quick.
Correct.
Like, yes, nobody is saying... Yeah, I get you, Texter. I understand. Someone else says, did Gold have an opinion about the Arby's steak bites? No, I had no opinion other than they look disgusting.
They look awesome.
Have you had them?
No, but I want to.
Has anybody had them? Drew?
They look great.
Drew, you seem like the most likely person on this show to have had them. I don't know why.
I did never have had those.
But
and I don't
no,
think I will.
someone was saying, did I say there's no way the steak bites are bad? No. Quite the opposite. They look disgusting.
I think they look good.
Yeah,
like burn-in type things. You know?
Someone said Chick-fil-A is the blandest chicken on the planet. I think I just disagree.
But they always have those long, long lines. People obviously are liking it.
Someone says, I stand with Drew. Someone says chicken and waffles is trash. Someone else says, Drew, how dare you talk about the Lord's chicken and waffles like that? Someone says Chick-fil-A, blandest chicken on the planet.
Their chicken is incredible, but I don't. I just think chicken and waffles are just overrated being together. Like I love waffles. Like if I have breakfast, like waffles is absolutely on the menu for me. I just don't think they need to be paired together.
It's one of those great combinations.
That's what I think. I think it's smart. I don't know what took so long.
I mean, no better combination, obviously, than peanut butter and chocolate, like Reese's, something like that. But great combinations. It's in that list. It's in the top 10.
Someone says they would try it if it was Popeyes doing. They think Chick-fil-A is overrated. Look, Popeyes is very good as well.
Popeyes is great.
But for breakfast, I'll go breakfast options at Chick-fil-A over Popeyes breakfast options. That's all.
This person said they wouldn't even feed the steak bites to their dog.
Look, in full disclosure, I have not had them, but I'm sorry. They can't be that good. No. They can't.
I agree.
I tried.
There's certain places.
Ruin your opinion about
and I love
steak.
their curly fries. The curly fries are great. All right? And I've had a roast beef sandwich there before. It's been a while.
We'll get some curly fries
but
and some steak bites.
Steak bites.
I'd try it.
They look like they are overcooked burn-ins, and they're not burn-ins, as we know.
That's what people say about the McRib, but then you try it, and you're like, oh.
Also, we're in Kansas City. What are you eating the McRib for?
Because it's there.
That's a terrible reason.
Well, it's fast.
We live in Kansas City.
I know.
I refuse to have the McRib. I live in Kansas City.
Hang on a second. I have a question because this has come up.
I actually like
on the
Skyline Chili too, Drew.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was you that was here when we talked about this. Have you had the fish fillet sandwich at McDonald's?
Decades ago, probably.
Okay. That's
Drew's sandwich. Yeah.
They make a combination, though, don't they? They call it surf and turf. If you ask for it at McDonald's, like a secret menu, it's the Big Mac or quarter pounder or something and the filet of fish, and you combine them both. It's like a secret menu item for that.
My whole point is that about the McRib is as gross as the filet fish sandwich.
I don't know if that's true.
Come on,
I don't know if that's true, but
McRib.
True, we don't live by the coast to get just fish all the time, you know?
Oh, we've already gone over this. You can get great seafood in Kansas City.
You can, but come on. Go to McDonald's and get it.
And get sick.
Yeah.
You don't
Someone
get
else
sick,
says.
Drew.
Someone says the steak bites novelty is why they had them. Tastes like beef jerky, almost as dry. Yeah, it looks like it'd be very dry. It looks like it'd be very dry. But if you're just tuning in, the random question of the day today was whether or not you would be in or out on Chick-fil-A, who is testing a chicken and waffle sandwich in Baltimore and San Antonio, and is probably coming to Kansas City soon.
Perfect. It's like when Yangling came to Kansas City. It's like perfect excitement.
How much longer are the lines going to be at Chick-fil-A because of this? Like, is it going to...
Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A,
I know the lines are already...
Chick-fil-A is as efficient as any fast food chain in America. The line might look long, but...
It's not like it's a deal breaker. It's
They're
not
quick,
like it's
man.
a game changer.
They've got this thing figured out.
It's so busy. This one up by me has 2 lines, right? And they have a human out there actually taking the order just to make it faster. That's how efficient it is.
Yeah, the line looks terrible, but it moves quick. Absolutely. All right, while we're on the line conversation, I won't mention the particular chain, but the last 4 times I've gone to this national fast food place, okay, I've ordered something off the menu. I think a pretty standard item. All right. And it's only at this one location of this national chain. I get to the window. They hand me my soft drink. And they say, can you go please park in front of number 4 or number 2? And I sit there for 5 or 10 minutes. It's only one spot. The other ones can figure it out. The other ones can figure it out quickly. This other one, I got to go park in a separate spot. Otherwise, I would just would have walked in. If that's the case, what are we doing?
Have you talked to the regional manager or something? Or at least the assistant to the regional manager?
I have not, Bink. I have not done that.
Let them know your displeasure. You'll get a survey, I'm sure. Fill out the survey.
I'm just saying it happens at the same location.
Well, you need to talk to management.
There's plenty of locations of this
You
chain.
need to talk to management about your displeasure.
Yeah.
You should.
I'm just ordering a value. Now you know what it is. But I'm
do.
ordering a value meal, okay?
If I have a
I
bad
already knew what it
experience,
was
I
based
tell
on
them.
you saying go to spot 4.
I know.
But yes.
Someone says it's because the quarter pounders are made to order. The other location can figure it out, is what I'm saying. The other location can figure it out.
Jeez.
There you go. That's the random question of the day.
All right.
Next line is split on the chicken
Oh, and a big
waffle.
thanks to Dusty for the Christmas tree cake he gave us earlier.
Oh, they were doing their food segment. They were doing their Smash or Pass,
awesome.
Pass food segment. And yeah, he gave you, what was it again?
It was like a Christmas tree cake nutty butter or something like that.
Okay.
But they went Christmas tree cakes right now, so that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Dusty shared that, and that was a high-quality item that we got. You guard those things,
Someone
Drew.
says the other locations, Gold, must not be making them fresh. Oh, interesting. You think that one's doing it the right way?
Talk to management.
Okay. Look, I'm still going back, I guess. So they
You ever
haven't
talk to
haven't
management?
lost me.
You
They
ever
haven't
talk to
lost me.
management, Drew?
About fast food?
If you had a bad experience, you talk to management.
At fast food? Absolutely not. I will go on the
I
app.
don't think I've
I
ever
will go
talked
on
to-
the app and I will hop in the chat and complain. And
Wait,
then
hold on.
and then I'll get a free sandwich.
Hold on. Wait. You've got this whole thing figured out. You're telling me you hop on the fast food app for whatever and I know which one you're talking about. You hop on their app. You go in there, you click on like help.
Wrong order.
Wrong order.
Something like that, yeah.
And you type in a message that says, here's what went wrong. And you actually complain through a chat system for the McDonald's or wherever, and then you're getting free food back.
Well, yeah. If the order, I'm not doing it every time, but if the
You were
order
giving me
is
crap about
incorrect,
management.
if the order is incorrect, or if something was messed up, then yeah, I might as well.
Huh. By the way, for the person saying Gold, order ahead on the app, have them bring them out to you. That's the thing. I go on the app when I'm 5 minutes away. I go around, I tell them the code, and then they still have me park at spot 4. Anyway, all right, up next, let's talk some football again. Josh Klingler will be on the sideline. He's going to join us, and we kind of just did it there on a smaller scale, but a Snitch Line Thursday. It's been a month since we've done one. You've got something that you've witnessed, something that's happened to you, something you've done in this city. That's your time to snitch. We're doing that next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's Thirsty Thursday at Hy-Vee. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
The Chiefs have been scoring a ton of points lately, and that means I'm saving a ton of money at Hy-Vee. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs because I score big fuel savings when I shop Hy-Vee the day after any Chiefs game. Win or lose, I'll earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents a gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. So the more we score, the more I save, only for my friends at Hy-Vee.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, Zach, are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbor's attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun.
I'm switching.
Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about?
T-Mobile's got home internet. And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to take a shot at the jackpot. That's FanDuel.com/Alex for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt in. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets will expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Men, if the long lines to the bathroom have been holding you back from attending sporting events and you're waking up in the middle of the night dealing with frequent urination, it could be an enlarged prostate. Jeff Montgomery here to talk about the minimally invasive procedure I had that made a big difference. I went to Dr. Brown at Miva Medical, the leader in minimally invasive treatments in Kansas City. The procedure was quick and easy, and I'm very happy with the result. Don't put up with being uncomfortable. Contact Miva Medical. That's MIVA-medical.com.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
One o'clock hour. Rob Redden was in here as well. We were talking about Chick-fil-A and chicken and waffle sandwich. We're about to be joined by Kling. Drew's laughing. He's on the phone with Kling right now. He doesn't know we're back. We're trying to get Kling on. They're just having a conversation now. I'm staring at him. He now realizes what's going on. I don't know what's going on. We could have just we should have honestly just hit the on-air button and let Drew and Kling's conversation continue go. I think we should have just done that.
So I pick up the phone and Kling goes, Jay Binkley Fan Club. And I was like, how's it
perfect.
going?
I like that idea, actually. Jay Binkley Fan Club. People can just call in and talk to Bink. I like that idea. We do have a snitch line coming up in 15 minutes, all right? We do this like once a month. Today's a perfect day because Bink said he doesn't want to be Professor Bink, so we'll have Professor Weber tomorrow when Logan's in for Cody. But snitch line, anything you have witnessed, anything you have done around town, something you want to get off your chest, 913-586-7965. You can start texting those in. I already see one involving somebody's birthday that we'll get to, but that's coming up after Kling joins us. He, of course, will be on the sidelines in Denver, but you're a big member, founding member of the fan club for Bink, or no?
I think so. I think that's the next great business idea is I generate a Bink AI, and then, he answers phone calls. Because you wouldn't want to stream it, or like it would actually be like an actual phone call, because Binkley is still doing phone calls a lot, right?
Like Russell Wilson. Ask Russell Wilson a
Kling, like for that 2:20 phone call I get after the show a lot.
So it'd be strictly phone calls, and landlines would move to the top of the
landlines. I don't know what last time I used one, except for these.
Certainly the one in the newsroom.
Except for these, yeah.
Kling, there's no secret how massive this game is. On Sunday, we've all thrown around must win. For the division, it absolutely is. But what do you actually think it does, win or lose, for just overall psyche of not just the fan base, but from the team? Because I think that's the interesting element here. I think for Denver, if they lose, to me, it messes them up maybe the rest of the way, psyche-wise, and they still can't get over the hump. For the Chiefs, if they lose, they're 5-5, and for the first time really in the Mahomes era, there's real, I think, doubt about postseason stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part with this one is, I've been telling people, I'm like, no, they're talented. They're talented enough to win this whole thing. But at some point in time, you do have to go with your record is your record. And I don't think Denver's as good, but they're 8-2, and you can't take that away from them. And then the Chiefs being at 5-4, yet still being obviously the Super Bowl favorite everywhere, I don't think is like out of line. If you just watch them play and again took out the results necessarily, right? If you see them play, you're like, oh yeah, man, that's a good team that's got a lot going for it. Not a ton of holes, but they have 4 losses, and so it feels like this has turned into kind of a must win. Maybe not even just for the division, but to keep playoff momentum. You don't want to deal with that margin of playoffs at the end as well if you're kind of messing around with that. And who would have thought they'd have been in the world where they're close to messing around with that? You know what I mean? So this has suddenly turned into kind of a must-win. I don't know if Denver loses, if they'd be done. I mean, they're still at 8 wins. You know what I mean? So, but if they get this one, man, they're going to be flying high, because this is a team that believes. I mean, they believe, and it can't go in the stat book anywhere. But I do appreciate teams like we saw with that, a previous Chiefs team, right? That just figured out ways to win, and we're doing it in all those strange and weird ways. This Denver team's got a belief that they can get it done, and they can overcome whatever deficits they have to figure out a way to win games. And that goes a long way towards, believing internally that you can do it, and then going out there and getting it done. So, there's a lot on the line for both. I think probably more for the Chiefs because, backs are against the wall at 5-4. There's no doubt.
Kling, when you notice fan bases, obviously you're down there with the fans, so you hear it from all. I've always considered Denver some of the most annoying fans with the whole incomplete chant and everything they have. But how quickly will this team turn on their own fan base? Because they were booing Denver. They booed them at different times this year, which is silly with that 8 wins on the season. But how quickly could the Chiefs kind of flip things, score, maybe get those fans to start booing early on?
Yeah, I mean, and Denver's not been very good to start games, right? So, I mean, getting off to a fast start and getting them in a little bit of a hole, I think would be best served. Obviously, the Chiefs are better when they do that too, right? When they're firing out of the chute. But they haven't been as great at doing that. But if you can get up a couple of scores, I think you're really going to put the heat on them. And I also think, kind of hearing, kind of the vibe in Denver almost feels like that there's a lot of, we don't know how good we are either kind of going on, right? So I think there's probably some doubt as to are they a paper 8-2 at this point, and they haven't really beaten anybody yet. So I don't know if they turn, but I think there's plenty of people that are probably pretty nervous seeing Patrick Mahomes and company come to town this week.
We're talking to Josh Klingler. He, of course, will be on the sidelines here on 96.5 The Fan Sunday afternoon. Do you still buy into the bye week, post-bye week, Andy Reid bump? We know the record is as good as it gets out of a bye week, but the Broncos also kind of had a mini bye here.
I mean, I think the Chiefs have mastered the art of that, right? And Andy Reid has figured out what he needs to tweak during that time, and I think the coaches put in a ton of work. I think the Chiefs are about as good as any team in changing what they do, especially offensively, like week to week. So give them 2 weeks, give them time to scout what the Broncos are doing, and I certainly think they're going to have a great game plan in place. So I do believe there's something to it. I just think that they have mastered whatever their schedule is and how they go about the process of that bye week works for them, especially from like a coaching standpoint. That's not even to say, the getting the guys off their legs and doing whatever, because they kind of kick them out for a few days, right? And it's just the coaches kind of grinding that whole time. And so I think they enjoy it. Or I think at least Andy Reid does enjoy that portion of it, right? You get a little bit of extra time, can really get in there and dial in some things that you're not doing quite as well, tweak some things here and there. I think those are one of the things that drive probably the best coaches, is certainly Andy Reid, and it's been proven that he does really well coming out of it. So perfect week. I think thought it was a perfect week health-wise this time, because especially along the offensive line, the injury report looks much better than I thought it would coming out of the last game, especially for the offensive linemen. So to see the pretty clean, knock on wood, injury report going on coming out of the bye is certainly encouraging.
You mentioned offensive line there. So Josh Simmons, full participant yesterday. We'll find out for sure here in an hour or so if he's a full participant again today. What's your feeling on his availability? I think he's healthy, but do you think Andy Reid is willing to start Josh Simmons basically right away after missing 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I mean, I guess if you'd asked me though, guys, at training camp, did I think he would just put in Josh Simmons and let him go? At training camp, I probably would have said no, right? I thought that they would have had a little slower play with him, but certainly I would think you kind of have to pause a little bit and see where he's at, probably physically and mentally at this point, and judge it by maybe what you see in practice. So, hard for me to answer that question because I don't know. I don't think I would probably plug him right back in, but maybe have him available and maybe takes, as much as you hate platooning along the offensive line, maybe getting his toes wet again real quickly and that type of thing might be best served. But we'll see. I don't know what is in store. I've not heard, and I think they're probably playing it day by day based on what they see in practice.
How much should that Denver pass rush concern the Chiefs in that offensive line? Speaking of offensive line and the health, because most pressures, obviously the most sacks by 14 in the NFL. It's not just Benito, it's Zach Allen as well coming from the other side. And at secondary, even without Surtain's been very active in what they do. How concerned should KC be?
Well, certainly with the pass rush, a team that's doing their historic numbers, right? 46 sacks. The Chiefs have 20. 46 sacks. That's a crazy number. And, Patrick Mahomes has been not as great when he's been pressured this year. So it's not even about just getting him, but it's pressuring him that's been effective. That's always been the best key, right? If you can get heat on Mahomes, I'd take my chances doing that kind of every day of the week. And there's sometimes he's going to burn you, but there's sometimes where if you can bottle up on the back end and get the pass rush, you're going to be in some business against the Chiefs. So that's certainly the number one matchup. And again, I'd rather have a fully healthy offensive line, but it is kind of weird to go along that line and see everybody banged up. I was kind of surprised that we didn't see Kingsley on the injury list this week too, because he was hobbling out of that game last week and then kind of pushed himself back in late. So I thought he'd be on the injury list along with basically everybody but Creed Humphrey had being on that list. So that being a little bit cleaner gives me a little less pause about it, but that's going to be the number one matchup. Can that offensive line hold up against their pass rush? Because if Denver doesn't slow down the Chiefs offensively, this Denver offense doesn't scare me a lot. Certainly early in games that they can hang with kind of a high scoring type of game. They need it to be a low scoring game. So if the Chiefs are able to penetrate their defense early on, I think it's trouble for the Broncos.
For the Chiefs' run game, we know Isaiah Pacheco did not practice yesterday. Brashard Smith, Kareem Hunt, and then last time it was Clyde being activated. Could it be Elijah Mitchell? How do you think, let's say Pacheco can't go, how big of a deal is that against this Broncos defensive front, where I guess that is an area you can have some successes on the ground? Do you think they're, out of a bye week, willing to give Brashard Smith more work?
I would think that the bye week is also perfect for that type of player, much like Xavier Worthy last year, where they kind of added stuff as the season went on, and then by the end of the year, they had all kinds of stuff, specifically for him. I'm hoping Brashard Smith falls into that category as well. I think Hunt's still going to be your primary guy. Look, Pacheco, to me, I think shows how tough he is, because the game he got hurt in, he kind of just shook it off and wanted to go back in. And the coach is like, no, we got a lead. We're going to back you off. And Andy Reid literally went and talked to him and kind of convinced him that they were going to shut him down for the day. And I thought, okay, no big deal. And then now this injury is a little worse than we thought early on. So to me, one, that shows his toughness, that he didn't want to come out of a game that might cost him, multiple games now, in terms of how severe that injury was. And then, I'm always calling for runs. We know that, right? I know you guys are probably the same camp too. And they may come out and throw it 40 times. I don't know. Just when you think you got them figured out, they're going to go a different direction. So I would love to see in the second half, though, more Brashard Smith, because I think we want to know as well, from a fan standpoint, what he is moving forward, because they're going to have futuristic running back questions after the season is over. And again, that's much further down the road, but obviously Pacheco and Hunt, maybe one of them is back. Certainly I would be hugely surprised if both of them were back, and you're going to have to do something different at the running back position next year. And so why not find out exactly what you have in Brashard Smith before you get to that point?
What do you see on a sideline so close from Brashard Kling? The guy just looks a little bit different as far as just the way he can break away. I know his yards per carry against certain teams, I throw that out of the way because this guy's got some juice to him. He just plays tough, man. For his size and the way that he gets off of defenders, I don't know what you've really noticed about Brashard, but he just looks different in a good way to me.
Yeah, and a different type of back than the other two, right? Yeah. So you can split him outside a lot more. I think going into the season, we weren't sure how they would handle third downs necessarily, and didn't get that veteran third down. I was hoping he'll morph into more of that. For now, he can be the exclusive third down guy because you're comfortable throwing him the football. I'd like to see him, though, run the football a little bit more just to see what he has. But he can run the end arounds. He can do all kinds of the gadget stuff as well. So he's got way more versatility than the other two guys. We haven't probably seen as much what that means in the kind of regular running type scenarios for him. So hopefully we see a little bit more of that too. And then also don't forget, I'm almost throwing Rashee Rice into the part-time running back role because we've seen a little bit of that, and I think we'll continue to see more of that, kind of lining him up in the backfield and having him do different things as well. He's such a powerful runner. And certainly if Pacheco's not in the mix, I think that adds maybe a few more plays to the potential of Rashee Rice lining up in the backfield.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for the rest of his career. It's kind of that Deebo Samuel look at the backfield for Rashee Rice. Kling, safe travels to Denver, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I will go back to my presidency of the Binkley fan club, already in progress.
Yeah, go ahead and let us know when that fan club is meeting. I think there's people that want to join, so we'll make sure we check next week on that. That's Josh Klingler, president of the Jay Binkley.
What do you consider this for Denver? Because we all talk about Andy Reid's record, 22-4 after the bye, 13-1 in Philly, 9-3 with the Chiefs. But 3-4 record when both teams have a bye. Now, Denver didn't they had a mini bye. Yeah. So you consider this kind of a mini bye for them?
I do. Yeah, I do. But I do think self-scouting is a big deal. And usually some of the stuff that we're pinpointing under center, not utilizing this player maybe as well. A lot of that stuff, those are all adjustments that I do think they are very well aware of. Whether they do them or, we're not some of the numbers that get brought up from fans and social media, et cetera. These are not numbers. This is not data. This is not stuff that they're not aware of as well. Doesn't mean that they're going to shift the way you want them to shift, not necessarily, but I think they're well aware of some of the tendencies that have been good and bad for them. That's the whole part.
I just think how aggressive this defensive line is and the quarterback pressures. I can foresee a ton of quick hitters. I mean, Xavier Worthy in motion, gets the pass. Bouchard, this is where he can be valuable, being a former wide receiver experience in Miami before he went to SMU, but just quick hitters from the Chiefs. Don't think we're going to see the sit back, couple seconds, wait for the ball downfield. I know people want to see that more. They want to see that Xavier Worthy on the 9 route or the vertical route or Taekwon. They want to see that. I don't know this particularly the matchup to do that. I expect a ton of short passes from the Chiefs.
Coming up in about 15 minutes earlier today, we spoke with Danan Hughes, former wide receiver. We asked him about Xavier Worthy, his role, his tendencies, what he sees in the Broncos wide receiver room. You'll hear that conversation coming up in a bit, but it is time for the snitch line, Bink. It's been about a month, I think, since we did this.
Yeah.
913-586-7965. Something you have done.
I don't snitch.
Something you have seen. Coworker, family member. Something you're about to do. This is where we get into that. Here we go. Here's a good one. Bink, I think you have experience with this. It involves an ex-wife.
Oh, I have plenty of experience. I'm good at this. Pro at this.
Someone said they're on dating apps, and someone put their name in the "Are we dating the same guy?" KC Facebook group. Their ex-wife divorced. My ex-wife divorced. That somehow decided to just put me on blast. Tell this person everything to whoever put me on there. Me and my ex have been divorced for 6 years. My ex has been remarried for 3. Completely uncalled for.
It is. If it's false,
that is a real Facebook group that exists in Kansas City.
And if it's false information and it's not true information, that is also slander and libelous. You have a lawsuit on your hand. Recommend a good attorney for this, because if it is fake information and didn't happen and it's untrue and it is hurting you in some respects,
intentionally
you do have a case.
Trying to harm, though.
If it's intentionally trying to harm, you do have a case if it's untrue.
Another one from the 913. I'm snitching on a coworker who sits on his ass all day, does nothing, while the rest of our hardworking employees are trying to get raises. All the money for our potential raises are going to a guy who does absolutely nothing.
Not much you can do in this situation. Probably grandfathered in, probably been there forever. Seriously,
coming from the guy that said to complain to
but
management. Hang on a second.
I know.
Hang on a second. In fairness, Bink, I'm not saying this person should do this, but if it's a collective group that's realizing this one individual is not doing anything, don't you think that it would be smart of them to speak to management about the issue and make a complaint?
Just don't be a snitch about it. I mean, if you had the whole group do it, that's one thing. One person doing it, no, it's kind of snitching.
Well, hang on. So there's a difference between this person snitching on their coworker and you snitching on the person at the McDonald's who got your order wrong.
It's not snitching. I was going to management because it's a business.
913-586-7965. From the 816, snitching on myself, this person says. I ran the KC Half Marathon without paying. I pay taxes for the roads. I shouldn't have to pay $100 to run on them. But that half marathon's probably for charity, though. So you took money from charity.
13.1? Is that the 13.1 stickers?
I'm not sure, but like you took money probably for a charity it benefits. I get your logic, but you took money from
Shout
the
out
charity.
to you, though, for running the half marathon.
From the long-time listener, someone says, long-time listener, first-time snitcher. Today may or may not be my birthday. But none of the companies I do business with need to know that. So everything that I fill out, I give different days of the year as my birthday to get free Starbucks in February, free dinner here or there in March, etc. You can't visit every place in one day or 1 week. Like, what do they want you to do? So you have to lie and spread out the rewards.
You know what? That's one thing I do hate. If I go somewhere and someone says, oh, it's his birthday, I say, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I hate when people come to your table and sing. Like, that really annoys me. Like, I don't like magicians or clowns or people that do balloons and come to your table. I certainly don't want to hear you sing.
So you don't like...
So I'd rather not get the free stuff, not to hear them sing, because it's usually terrible, and I don't like that type of situation. My same feeling with clowns and balloon magicians and all that crap that comes to your table.
Drew doesn't know it. One of these days, he just doesn't know when. One of these days, there's going to be a clown that just pops up right underneath the board that he's running in the middle of the show. He doesn't know what day.
That's scary.
And he's terrified. Absolutely terrified.
I hate clowns as well, Drew. Did you know that Kansas City held a clown convention a few years ago?
That's weird.
They were all up in the Northland at the airport.
Crazy.
There was clown convention.
Did you walk through there?
No, I heard about it. I was like, stayed away, but there was clowns everywhere. Like all over the place.
Unbelievable.
You know, all these damn clowns.
Snitch line continues, 913-586-7965. Someone said, had surgery for a hernia earlier this week. I'm taking the entire week off just so my coworkers can suffer. LOL.
On a big week. Big Denver.
Someone else
Wait,
said,
let me look up that number compared to the one that I had.
go ahead and search that one. Someone else said they saw Cody running in a marathon today when I was out downtown. He's actually not on bed rest. The whole hernia story was a lie. Someone else from the 816 had a look at a middle school Chromebook history. Why did you, sir? Please explain. Saw a lot of Google searches for porn. Kid had good taste, but needs to use a personal device instead of the school Chromebook. Jeez. Why were you looking at the Chromebook history at a middle school? I have questions about that. Anyway, elsewhere on the snitch line, 913-586-7965. Bink wouldn't be upset if a stripper came to his table on his birthday.
I didn't say stripper. I said clowns. Stripper, I'd love that. I'd welcome that.
Yeah.
Come on over. I said clowns are the people that make those balloon animals and stuff because they suck. I'm talking stripper, perfectly fine.
Someone else, I don't know if I'll name the establishment. A very popular bar in Westport, someone says they urinated in the sink there a few weeks ago. Please tell me you were drunk. Not that it excuses it, but otherwise it makes no sense. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are you doing here? Elsewhere, my last employer took my garnished wages, pocketed them to the tune of $6,500. Can you prove it? Can you prove it? Hopefully you can.
It's a lot of money to be taken and garnering. But you got to prove that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
if you prove it, you got something.
I feel like that should be fairly easy to prove.
And you're not really stitching if it's that much money into your pocket because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Last one for you, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
From the 816. Their coworker shows up to work 2 hours late 3 times a week, is never there, oversleeps, he lives 2 minutes away. Yet someone else is late once and it's the end of the world. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
It's a real problem in fairness there.
All right, a couple more. I lied. Couple more.
Someone said they got fired from their job at McDonald's because some person got on the app and complained about
Yeah,
them.
isn't that a jerk? Isn't that a jerk for going on the app? Because he thought his hash brown was cold and in his large Coke that he gets at 9 o'clock in the morning and goes into our building. It sounds like Drew. And then he goes on the app and complains it cost you a job. That is messed up.
You know what? From now on, if I do send a message, please do not get rid of the person that messed us up. It's a single mistake, and I just want to know if...
You're complaining chat lines, man. That's taking it a
that's
step further.
Someone else snitching on themselves, snitching on themselves for getting compliments on weight loss, but they've just been using Wegovy. I mean, look, you're using the Ozempic or Wegovy, and good for you. You know, if that's what it takes to make it happen, you don't need to be ashamed of that.
No,
do what you got to do, you know?
Lost the weight.
Good for you. If you know, that's what you need. If it's not, if the other stuff's not working, hey, man.
It's also not your fault that you're getting compliments on it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, we're not reading that one from the 417. I see it. I see it. We're not reading that one. That is the snitch line. 913.
Never know what you're going to get, you know?
586.
Sometimes.
This is why it became a monthly thing, not a weekly thing.
Well, this is why I had to tell people at night because I was asking for pictures of the Northern Lights, which is dumb.
Last night I was disappointed. I was told it was supposed to be better last night. It was
terrible.
too cloudy. You couldn't see a damn thing.
It was terrible.
Couldn't see
night
the
for
Northern Lights. Never going to see it again, you know?
So I had to go get the pizza instead, Drew.
No. Did you guys hang out last night?
No, we didn't.
No, we did not.
Up next, guys, we will get to what's trending.
Text like thinks I bully him.
Earlier today, Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, joined us. We asked him about Xavier Worthy and these tendencies that he has. How easy are they to correct? Is it a big deal? And what does he make of the Broncos wide receiver room? That's next.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskey, and tequilas. Plus, check out our barrel selections that are handcrafted by our team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Cheers!
Hey, Zach, are you smiling at my gorgeous canyon view?
No, Donald. I'm smiling because I've got something I want to tell the whole world.
Well, do it. Shout it out.
T-Mobile's got home internet.
Whoa, I love that echo. T-Mobile's got home internet.
How much is it?
Look at that, Zach. We got the neighbor's attention.
Just $35 a month. And you love a great deal, Denise.
Plus, they've got a 5-year price guarantee. That's 5 whole trips around the sun. I'm switching.
Me too.
Yes, T-Mobile home internet for the neighborhood.
Donald, you still haven't returned my weed whacker.
Carl, don't you embarrass me like this, please.
What's everyone yelling about? T-Mobile's got home internet. And Donald's got my weed whacker.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month with auto pay and any voice line. And it's guaranteed for 5 years.
Beautiful yodeling, Carl.
Taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com/ISP for details and exclusions.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. Starting on December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. With live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started. All on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. And you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game of FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/25. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Does this sound like you? Every step of reach is a reminder of what hurts, a reminder of what you can't do. But I've got good news for you. Relief is closer than you think, and it doesn't have to come from a scalpel. What if it could come from you? At QC Kinetics, we tap into your body's own regenerative power using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve the pain at its source. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. Just your body remembering how to feel alive again. And this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to our heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment, and for every non-veteran who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. So now's the perfect time to book your free consultation with Saturday appointments to fit your schedule. Call QC Kinetics today, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, QC Kinetics.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance.
Financial services.
Insurance.
Financial services.
Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide.
Is both.
Nationwide.
Is both.
For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Your favorite neighborhood spots run unsquare. You know the ones. Maybe it's the popular shop that just opened a new location by you, or the big sports bar that's always packed on game day. These places make the neighborhood, and the money spent there stays in your community. Square powers more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide. To learn more, go to square.com, or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit tellytire.com today.
Number one on what's trending, the Chiefs back at practice today. We'll await the full practice report in a couple hours, but George Karlaftis was limited yesterday. Isaiah Pacheco did not practice yesterday. That's where things stand on the injury front. Also, something that I know Chiefs fans are keeping an eye on, former Chief Colin Saunders was officially released by the Jacksonville Jaguars today. The veteran defensive tackle, of course, won 2 rings with the Chiefs. We shall see if they're interested in bringing him back.
Well, here's the one thing about it. You'd always say when these guys are released, everybody wants them to come back. But the Chiefs do bring them back. That's what the loyalty factor is big. It's why Mike Pennell's been here 3 times. They understand and know the system. But the waiver claim, so he's got to go on waivers till tomorrow at this time, because once the trade deadline passes, everybody is subject to waivers. And the Chiefs, by the way, because of the record, they're the 17th on the waiver wire at this moment. Tonight, Thursday Night Football, we had a little chuckle during the break because I said on Thursday nights, I used to time it when I did the college football show on Thursday nights for you to come on and talk about those Kansas Jayhawks.
Oh, that was many years ago. Oh, yeah.
Thursday night games. But I would say they've gotten better, but they haven't.
Yeah, Jets, Patriots. I think it'll be an ugly one tonight. I like the under, but Patriots 12.5, 13.5 point favorites against the Jets. Elsewhere, college football, Bink, the College Football Playoff Selection Committee needs a new chair of the committee. That's because Mack Rhodes, the Big 12's athletic director for Baylor, also now in hot water, going to lose his job based off of some allegations that are out there. So they're looking for a new chair of the committee. The Big 12 is recommending, according to Yahoo Sports, Utah athletic director Mark Harlan to replace Mack Rhodes.
Probably a good choice. Of course, when you talk about your team, you have to recuse yourself from it. Utah is actually one of the schools, the first 2 out of the college football playoffs. Mack Rhodes, a former AD at the University of Missouri. Now they let this selection committee, this 12-man or 13-person panel, they allow media people. Ivan Maisel is actually on this committee, too, as a media member. I'm just saying.
Okay, is that what you're shooting for? Would you rather be on this committee or the Heisman voter? The committee, right? Not even 100%. Close. Yeah.
This, because
True?
They get to meet in Texas and talk about all these teams and games. They go down there each and every week. Honestly, I would prefer Drew Nixon on this committee because he actually watches these games and he has a lot of good things to say.
Bink.
His Missouri and Eli Drinkwitz take was terrible, but I think Drew would actually be perfect on this. So yes, text line, I do say nice things to Drew.
I feel like Drew though would want everybody in. Like they'd be like Drew, there's only 12 spots. We can't have 18 of these teams get in. I feel like Drew's too nice. He'd make a case for every single team to get in.
10-2 Texas, you're not getting in. It's going to be 12. It's going to be 12-1 James Madison instead.
Drew does a guide of all 136 teams. Like he does a preview of everybody. Like Drew was in, yes, Eli Drinkwitz. There's 136 teams, not 127. Yes. But Drew would know that.
Elsewhere, by the way, Disney and Google remain at an impasse over restoring ESPN and ABC, and of course other networks, to YouTube TV. It is at 2 weeks long now, 14 days, longest blackout Disney has faced in recent history. It's costing the company $4 million a day. You know my thoughts here. Of course, figure it the bleep out, and also don't forget to go apply for your $20 credit.
And go get your rabbit ears at a nearby
indoor antenna,
store.
man. Go get that indoor antenna.
You can watch those games as long as ABC. MLB, the string of giving out awards every day. They're just stringing this thing out. It's like smashing your mashed potatoes to your mother. Like, hey, look what I ate when you smashed them off.
Go back. It's like doing what?
When you smash food down when you're a kid.
You just said it's like smashing your mashed potatoes with your mother.
Yeah,
that's what he said, didn't he? Did he say
when
that?
your mother gave you food, you'd smash it out so it looked like you ate it. It's what kids do, okay? But anyway, I was just saying baseball strings their awards out. Cy Young Award winners, Paul Skeens in the National League. Tariq Skubal goes back-to-back. Hasn't been done in, 20-something years.
Very impressive feat.
Since someone's done it.
Last one, just an update. I was wondering when this would happen. We know that Luis Ortiz of the Guardians had already been arraigned and everything a couple days ago with the FBI investigation with the throwing the pitches, intentionally throwing balls, and sports betting. Emmanuel Clase today arrived back in the United States at JFK Airport from the Dominican Republic. He was arrested by FBI agents. He will be arraigned at 2 p.m.
They should give him a Cy Young.
Don't think so.
Take it right away.
It might have some awards behind bars.
He's been very good before.
That'll be about it. All right. Earlier today, Danan Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, he will be part of the broadcast Sunday afternoon against the Broncos Chiefs right here on 96.5 The Fan. We started our conversation asking him about Xavier Worthy, these tendencies that have been brought up by the Bills, and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were asked about it. How big of a deal is it, and does everybody have these tendencies?
It's very normal, guys, to have tendencies. I think in any sport, heck, in any walk of life, there's ways that you show up to work. There's ways that you show up on the court, on the field. And if you're paying attention, if you have a wily veteran or a coach that is dialed in, you can find out anything about anybody as far as their tendencies, how they break the huddle, how they line up. I reposted the 1997 Chiefs-Broncos game with Pete Stoyanovich kicking the game-winning field goal.
All right.
And I watched myself on that tape, and I was like, oh, this is a run play. Oh, that's a pass play. Oh, I'm not getting the ball. I'm like, from an analyst standpoint now, almost 30 years later, you recognize, oh, my gosh, was it that glaring? Did other teams or other players recognize some certain things? And that's where you have to be focused and disciplined as a player. And more so, if a coach finds something, the tricky part is not necessarily finding things, guys. It's having the guts to be able to dial into it and to roll the dice. I mean, people talk about Tony Romo and his abilities to call plays before they happen. Most analysts can do that. It's just having the guts to do it. It's having the guts to roll the dice and in case you're wrong. In the case of plays being tipped or players tipping plays, you have to roll the dice on whether you're wrong. If you think it's going to be a run based on somebody's alignment and then you're wrong and you get gashed, then it's your fault. So it's not so much that you can't find out things. It's just a matter of if the coaching and, more importantly, if the players are willing to roll the dice on what they study and see. But it is very normal across the landscape, and it might not happen. Here's the key. Those tendencies might not show themselves in the first drive or the first quarter. They show themselves when you start getting tired, when you start grinding, when you got that 12-play drive, and you start breathing heavy. Now, all of a sudden, what I saw on film becomes more prevalent, and it gets down to the minute details. I remember being coached from Bill Snyder in college, even with the Kansas City Chiefs later in my career, guys lining up at 9 yards versus lining up at 9.5. Guys right foot forward versus left foot forward. Their eyes are into the quarterback versus their eyes on me at the wide receiver position. Even in special teams and punt rushes and pump blocks and kickoff returns and reverses and all that stuff. So it's out there. It's just a matter of having the discipline and the willingness and the guts to roll the dice.
How rare is it, though, for a player, like I think it was Hairston for the Bills, to just publicly, hey, here was his tendency to say that? Why would you even say that publicly?
I think it's a great ploy. It's a great game within the game. If you really want to get inside the head of another player, what better way could you do that? If you want Xavier Worthy, let's say we face the Bills in the postseason, and you want Xavier Worthy to be thinking about something else besides making a big play or jet sweeps or flip passes or being in the wishbone, all the quirkiness of what we display offensively. Have him thinking a little bit about his alignment. Have him thinking a little bit about how he breaks the huddle. That little bit can be the difference between a big play being made and not being made. So I give him credit. Now, it's a rookie that said it. If you're talking about Hairston, that's bold. And you got to put yourself on the island, but obviously he has a lot of moxie and a lot of confidence because I think it's pretty bold. It's just another level of trash talk.
Obviously, this is a big game. 17-3 against the Broncos the previous 10 years, the last decade, Danan. And I know you guys made it an emphasis with Marty to beat the Raiders. Heck, Danan, you were 9-1 against the Raiders as a player. But you were 5-6.
Why'd you have to bring that one up?
Well, the one. You're actually the division because the Seahawks were in it too. The Seahawks actually had more wins than anybody when you were a player, Dana. But you were 5-6 against the Broncos. When you look at the Broncos now, and of course the Chargers are there too. You had a winning record in Chargers too, by the way. But when you look at the Broncos, is this public enemy number one for the Chiefs? And now the Raiders just aren't as viable as what they were when you were playing. How big is this rivalry, do you think, to the Chiefs, now to the Broncos? Patrick Mahomes is 13-1 against them. Does this ring true for Denver and the hatred toward the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, how big, when you look at the hierarchy of the AFC West, is Chiefs and Broncos once again?
So I will say this. I have almost the same level of hatred for the Raiders as I do the Broncos, and here's why. You mentioned the 9-1 record. The one loss was the last game I played in my career, 1998. The last game of the season, we lost to the Raiders. So thanks a lot for bringing that up. The other part is the Denver Broncos. We didn't fare as well against them. The last playoff game that I played in as a player, we lost to the Denver Broncos. So thanks for bringing that up. And so I could say equal hatred, Bink.
It was
equal
close,
hatred
Danan.
for these guys. But, the fact remains is that we had no love for anybody else in the AFC West. Seattle was in it back then, and you felt the same way. There was definitely a heightened kind of level of anger and vitriol when you talked about the Raiders and definitely the Broncos. So I feel like these guys feel it too nowadays. They may not speak about it, but I think they feel it, and especially when you consider the last time we faced them, we didn't go out with all of our starters. We were in a great position, but they drummed us pretty good up there, and now we got an opportunity to change the tide.
We're talking to Danan Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. I asked you about Xavier Worthy. What about the Broncos wide receiver room? So much is focused in on their defense, obviously Bo Nix, but the wide receiver room, does it deserve more credit? Is it pretty pedestrian? What do you see from that room that I know is headlined by Cortland Sutton, but I don't think they impress a whole lot of people, at least on the fan side of things?
The one thing that jumps out to me is their size. And Cortland Sutton, as you mentioned, the first one, 6'4". Then you got Troy Franklin, 6'3". Bryant, 6'2". I mean, they're big guys. Even Marvin Mims, he's not listed very tall, but he plays bigger. So you got to consider their game plan offensively is not to put themselves in a position to make mistakes that cost their defense. So don't turn the ball over on their end of the field, so you're giving the defense short field, so the defense has, less opportunity to win. So what they've done a lot of is fade routes on the outside, slant routes from the outside, bubble screens to those big receivers. They can run the ball effectively in open space. So that's kind of their MO, crossing routes, because not only is it tough to keep up with the wide receiver on a crossing route, but if he's 6'4", it's even tougher to deal with as a corner or a safety. So they simplified the offense for Bo Nix that makes it minimal in regards to abilities to put their defense in holes. So that when you consider where they are, they lead the league with 53 punts on the season. So they've opted to say, you know what, we're going to punt the ball away to opposing offenses and roll the dice there as opposed to rolling the dice with the efficiency and the passing of our offense and putting the weight on the shoulders of Bo Nix. That's kind of been their MO this year, and how do you argue with that when they're 8-2?
Dana, when you look at their defense, obviously that pass rush is elite. Something we haven't seen in the last 35 years as far as the amount of sacks they have this far in the season. I know people are talking about Nick Bonito a lot. That's fine. But Zach Allen's pretty good as well on that defensive line. He can get after the quarterback. But I'm curious because Denver is so good in so many areas on defense. No Surtain in this game. But they did draft Jahdae Barron, the corner out of Texas. Already has an interception. I think that was a smart draft pick considering other teams in the division went running back. They go corner. But when you look at that, is there a place where the Chiefs can exploit this Denver defense, or how much of a problem can that pass rush be? Can the Chiefs actually throw against the Broncos?
I think we can. I mean, I hate to say it from one side because he's a former Hawkeye, but Riley Moss has been a guy that has been targeted a lot. T. Higgins pretty much owns him over the last 2 years, and that's just one receiver that has had success against Riley Moss. And when you consider without Patrick Surtain, the second, how will Denver line up their defense when you consider with us, Rashee Rice on the outside? Will they employ more zone coverage? I think they'll probably employ more zone coverage and challenge us to see how confident, how comfortable we are with 12 to 14 play drives in that hostile environment and not really expose that rookie Barron or Riley Moss to potential big plays down the field. Plus, we're tough to man-to-man cover because we run so much motion and shifts and we move guys inside and out that lining up man-to-man, you create some uncertainty from a defensive standpoint. So I feel like there's opportunity. I will say number 9, Hufanga, the safety, to me, he's a problem because he runs around. He's like a Tasmanian devil out there. Like his head, like he is everywhere, and he finishes plays. He plays through the echo of the whistle, and that has been a huge component. So although you give love to those frontline guys, the front 7, and Singleton being a factor, coming Bonito obviously being the anchor, Cooper as far as a rush. Those guys in the back end, they play really good complementary football, and that safety number 9, he's kind of the pulse of that defense. He plays with the intensity that contributes to their winning ways defensively. So we're going to have our hands full.
Before we let you go, Danan, I want to ask you about something we discussed in the first segment of the show. I just thought it was interesting. There's been a lot of talk about the Chiefs, specifically, in short yardage and going under the center versus being in shotgun and trying to run the ball and some of the success or lack thereof. And there was some numbers that were put out this week that the top 5 teams that go under center this year, Seattle, the Rams, the Lions, the Bills, the Patriots. Bottom 5, Saints, Bengals, Chiefs, Commanders, Falcons. Now, the Chiefs do it 11% of the time. Seattle does it 70%. I am by no means saying the Chiefs need to be anywhere near 70% of the time going under center. That's just not who their quarterback is, not how their team is, etc. But do you think this team could be more effective if they went under center at least a little bit more?
Absolutely. I think in many ways, when you consider when this offense has been efficient running the ball with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, it has been the sole I formation, Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, 6 yards, 7 yards deep, behind the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes under center. It has been kind of night and day to me as far as their efficiency and effectiveness in the run game. And then it changes the angles of the rush on the outside. When you have those outside guys, in this situation, you have Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper. If you're standing in shotgun formation, the angles and the exposure of the tackles is different than if you're under center. They have to come a little tighter to the line of scrimmage when you're under center because you still have the threat of a run play. When you're in shotgun, they can come a little wider up the field, which can expose the tackles and put them more on an island and susceptible to the speed rush from the outside. So I think that's what's great about this bye week being when it was, because the self-scouting, as you mentioned earlier, really comes into effect, where I'm sure our personnel pointed that out, and we'll see maybe some minor adjustments. I don't think we'll get to the point of being 70%, like you said, but if we can increase that number closer to 40 or 50 and get in less predictable situations and not allow those outside rushers to pin their ears back because we're in shotgun and we throw the ball more from shotgun than we run, then I think that'll bode well for us.
So that was Danan Hughes earlier today. You guys know he joins us each and every Thursday. He, of course, will be on the call this Sunday afternoon for the Chiefs Radio Network. The text that we got the most on earlier when we joined us live, and then when you just heard that conversation again, was a lot of people pushing back on the worthy part of it and the tendencies. When I think it was Danan's comment when he said he thinks it was gamesmanship by the Bills defender to try to get in Worthy's head for the future. A lot of people are pushing back on that. Like, that's why we have Danan Hughes on. I want a player's perspective on it. I thought it was weird that the players shared publicly the tendency. Danan thought it was more just like a way to kind of like, no, I got you, dude. Like, I'm trash talking you. I know exactly what you were doing.
Next
now
time we
you got
line
to
up
worry
at the
about
playoffs,
it.
I know exactly what you're doing every time.
I can see both sides of it. I can see why the player would try to do it to get in the head more. I also think, why would you tell him you already saw a tendency? Why wouldn't you just keep that in your own pocket?
What the Chiefs should do, and what Xavier Worthy should do, is just go out and do the opposite. Like, think if he pointed out your tendencies of what you're doing,
people are saying
go into the game and do the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. That would throw him for a loop.
Some people were like, he's a rookie. Would the rookie have known, like, thought that far ahead kind of thing?
Yeah, but they can use this to their advantage by using tendencies, but doing a reverse order.
I'm glad it actually got mentioned because it's something that needed to be cleaned up clearly.
I think you should still do them, but just like I said.
Well, you mix it up.
Mix it up.
You mean you just do that? Like if your left foot was forward when you were on run plays, you do the opposite.
You do the opposite of whatever he's calling you out for. You do the opposite of that.
I think
if it's going to be a run play, do the exact same things you do in a pass play. Just flip it up.
When Pat also was like, "Hey, thank you for letting me know. Now we can try to get that thing corrected."
Exactly.
You know.
No, it's exactly right.